knocks the meatball off the Christmas tree.
And most importantly,
the main host of this radio show.
So, without further ado, a man who needs absolutely no introduction, Jay Thomas.
Well, if you need no introduction, why in the hell do you go through all of that? But, by the way, is that the guy that's replacing Jon Stewart? Have they done it again? They have done it again. They have replaced Jon Stewart. Now, look, I think Jon Stewart's great, but I'm not a big. I don't watch the show all the time. My wife all night long, and texting and look at this, and this is what he said, and going to the concerts, and he has millions and millions of followers, but it's not enough. Comedy Central says they now want that show to be international, so they've hired this guy from South Africa. Is it Noah? Is it Noah Taylor? Is that what his name is? Noah Taylor? Does anybody know him?
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. Mm-hmm. So they have John Oliver, English guy. Trevor Noah, South African guy with a South African accent, who hasn't been here that much. They've got an English guy on The Late Late Show on CBS. It's pretty weird. I mean, I know I say this all the time, but it is kind of weird. I think they really think that some international group is going to start watching American TV talking about American stuff. The Kardashians, I guess you could say we're international. But other than that, when you go to Canada, and you Canadians know this when you come over here, I watch Canadian TV. I don't know what they're talking about. It's for Canadians. You go to France, they talk about French stuff. I don't think the United States, the local TV, nobody knows who any of our talk show hosts are overseas, and I think they're trying to change that. Do we have any audio of him? Noah?
Yeah,
Taylor. I got to write it down.
Trevor.
It's hard. Trevor?
Noah.
That's not even an American name.
Good thing he's not American.
I don't need your help right now.
So you don't want to hear the audio?
Yes. That I need. Hold on a second. I need your physical help, not your mental help. All right, let's hear Trevor Noah.
This year, South African comedian Trevor Noah has been named as the new host. The 31-year-old joined the show as an international correspondent in December, offering his outsider's view on life in the U.S.
I've got to be honest, John. Africa's worried about you guys. You know what African mothers tell their children every day? Be grateful for what you have, because there are fat children starving in Mississippi.
The new Daily Show host also appeared on CNN's African Voices 2 years ago. Now here's a portion of that interview.
My family's a funny family, I guess. We're a laughing family. We're happy in that way. We've always been about the funny. My grandfather was crazy, later diagnosed as crazy clinically. My mother is wild and eccentric. So I guess I got that from them. Mine has always been confined to the stage, and I generally warm up with people that I know, with my friends and so on. But I never thought of it as a career or anything. You must remember, comedy wasn't in South Africa. That wasn't a career choice. There were no stand-up comedians. This was, the industry's only maybe 10, 12 years old. So this was not something you could think of. You could not aspire to.
You have any stuff of him being funny? Because his grandfather was crazy. He's from South Africa. It's an embarrassment. It's unbelievable. It's embarrassing. It's like, they used to find people that were kind of interesting, that you kind of knew a little bit about. No matter what age you were, they put somebody on that was, there. But somebody, am I wrong about this? That it's, what's weird? I've noticed this. This is why there's no demonstrations against, like the war and a lot of things. Someone was asking me about that, and I said there's absolutely a lack of, and I think it's of all of us, but it's generational too. It goes way down. You guys just don't care about anything other than the absolute immediate thing that you're doing. I mean, this weekend, to fit in, I just taped my iPhone to my wrist Walked around all weekend. Oh, yeah. Think I'm kidding you?
Oh,
no. My wife got all pissed off. She said, what are you doing? I said, I got one of those new Apple Watches. I had so much fun. Went lawn bowling with my Apple Watch. Oh, yeah, did it all. Some guy said, hey, is that one of those things that you measure the distance that you have from your golf ball to the green? I said, nope. It's like a prototype of my new Apple Watch. Yeah, pretty cool. Very, very cool. And you know what's funny? The screen was huge. I watched things on it, but it was hard to put the electrical tape around it. I had to put, You can tell I made the pot brownies, can't you? I'm going to have to tell you about it in a minute because I almost didn't make it to work today, okay? I really, because I had to experiment how strong I'd made them. And I would eat a little, and I got to...
Take a little bite, take another little bite, next thing you know.
No, I did it more scientifically. Let's continue with Trevor Noah. And
Okay,
then
here's some stand-up.
Let's hear it.
I grew up in South Africa. That's where I still live. I enjoy it. Grew up there during a time known as apartheid. For those who don't know, apartheid was a law in our country that made it illegal for black and white people to interact with one another. This was against the law. And so this world was awkward for me growing up because I grew up in a mixed family. With me being the mixed one in the family. My mother's a black woman, Xhosa woman, born in South Africa. That's one of the languages with the clicks, Xhosa. So a black woman. And then my father's Swiss. But they didn't care, they were mavericks, fighting the system. My mom was arrested for being with my dad. She would get fined. She would get thrown into prison for the weekend. But still, she'd come back and she's like, woo, I don't care. Woo, come tell me who to love. I want a white man. Woo. Crazy, my mom. It was crazy, And my dad was also like, well, you know how the Swiss love chocolate. So he was in there,
Okay. There you go. So you see, you like him, see?
I like that joke. I mean, that's all I know. I don't really watch The Daily Show, so I'm not familiar with him. But
well, you said he's not interesting. I mean, if his backstory is true, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but arrested for dating his dad.
The Swiss do.
That's true. But if you English comics, American comics, when they go to England, you have to figure out stuff. It's and he's South African. It's weird. It's like you can Americanize someone, but he still lives in South Africa. So it's a bunch of executives sitting down and going, wow, why don't we make it international? And they go, what do you mean? Well, we'll get like a international guy, and we'll put him on there, And then, I mean, I believe this. He has an English accent, so he won't be considered black by most Americans. Right?
Yeah.
He won't. Exactly. And it's, first of all the Jon Stewart fans, I'll use this with my wife and her liberal friends. I'll see how many times they send Trevor Noah's stuff back and forth to each other. So we'll know. John Oliver, I know everybody loves him, and you guys like him too. I don't know what you're laughing at, but I'm to me, I would put Tosh on one of those shows, Joel McHale. I'd put one of those guys. I bet you they would be fun, and they could make it political. Or maybe this is Jon Stewart, who owns a piece of it, or is the producer and says, we're going to make this thing international. So, I don't know. I think it's stupid. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he has a nice background and all like that, but it's, it's not the friggin' United States. It's weird. I don't even like to hear a guy with an English accent tell us what to do. I don't like it. I'd have been in 1776, I'd have actually gotten a gun. I'd have gotten a gun. I'd have been a patriot. I would have. Now tell me, Sergeant Thomas, how do you want to fight for independence? Well, sir, it's the fucking accent. It's got to be stopped. Yep. Every time I hear tally-ho, I can't wait to lift my whatever the hell I'm lifting and pull the trigger. I'm going to call my son and ask him, Christina, text Sam and say, what would your dad have used in 1776
Okay.
to stop British accents? So. Tally-ho! Oh. I'd have been a sniper, but I would have been an ear sniper. I'd have been a guy that they'd have sent me out somewhere. I'd have been near a tavern, and I would have just been up in a building near a tavern. And when I heard a drunken British soldiers or Tories come out of a pub or something, I'd have heard, tally-ho, whack! That would have been it. I would have been I'd have been a British accent sniper. That's what I would have specialized in. Because you can't tell by their clothing or anything, unless they wore a red coat, unless they came out, dressed in their military, outfit. Otherwise, I'd have had, those horns that deaf people used to use in the old days, and they would stick a horn in their ear to hear? I'd have had one of those, and I'd have had my Remington Steel rifle. He was a detective, I think. Put the names back up there. By the way, if you're incredibly rich at 4 o'clock Eastern, we have a spokesman, and I've been talking about these matchmaking services, and this one is my favorite. This is it. Because everybody tells you of horror stories when you're out there in the normal world trying to find normal people. It's absolutely weird what people say about each other, how they pretend they look one way, and then people meet them and they go, what, go online and read the reviews of most of the so-called matchmaking services, and people are going, why don't they force them to look 30 pounds lighter if they're going to meet you, at a bar? This guy, he uses the number one thing that people are interested in. You have to look good and be rich. That's it.
5 minutes remain.
Well, what's rich, Christina? What's the number? I think is it $250,000 or 300,000, and you enter into the 1%? I know you're in the 2% with that one. Mm-hmm. It used to be $1 million and over, but they lowered it. They lowered it to the 1%ers might be $300,000 and over. Something like that.
This app, they go by what your favorite name brands and things are. That's how you're a match with somebody. So if you like Louis Vuitton and this guy likes Louis Vuitton, well, look, there's a match. Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny about Louis Vuitton? The leather is so soft that I go to a Louis Vuitton outlet store, and I get one of their coin purses. I know this sounds strange, and it has the LV on the side of it. Mm-hmm. And I masturbate in it. I've been doing it for years, and it's an amazing thing. Steve, the softness, somehow the inside of I don't know what it is, cowhide or something, softness. When I do that sometimes, I realize why there are men that sneak up behind cattle, and we read about them quite often in the farm news, a lot of farm news. Let's go to Cliff, who's in Houston. Cliff, so you're sitting down, you're watching American television, and a guy looks in the camera, hello, matey. How you doing out there? Like that, dressed as a pirate. How do you feel about that, Cliff?
I'm changing the channel. I'm sorry.
There you go, changing the channel. Changing the channel.
I don't want to hear a bunch of English guys telling me anything. Hire American actors.
Thank you. That's right.
That's it. Right. They lost the war. We won.
Yeah. Oh, I love that when I lost the war. By the way, do you know anything about guns? What sort of rifle would I have used as a sniper in our fight for independence against British talk show hosts?
Oh, God. Unfortunately, it's some kind of musket, but if it was today,
No, I don't think it was a musket. All right. Thank you, Cliff. You're a great American. God bless America, nowhere else, Cliff. Let's go to Jeff, who is in Pennsylvania. Yes, Jeff, it's Jay Thomas.
Jay, there's only one weapon of choice to use against a tally-ho.
Yeah.
And that's your tally-whacker.
My dad used to say that. That's the only way I know that term. He used to go, for God's sakes, cover your tallywhacker. He would say that to me all the time. Cover your tallywhacker. And I'd search my entire body trying to find out where exactly that was. But that's funny. That's an English term, tallywhacker. Mm-hmm.
See? Hey, I got
tally-ho, tallywhacker.
I got a storyline to help you out with Ray Donovan if you're not going to be on this season.
So if they don't bring me back, you have a storyline for me to do what? What? Put it on YouTube? You know what? I should shoot my own scenes on YouTube, but just have shadows. Like there's no Liev Schreiber or anybody, just a shadow of him.
We found out that Ray Donovan was molested as a child, and of course he's having mixed thoughts about being gay and stuff like that. So
that's right.
He would have to come to Marty in order to get guidance.
You know what? That is a great idea. I mean, it's brilliant, actually. It's brilliant. And if they don't have me back, I'm gonna be putting that on YouTube, and I'll hire a guy that kind of has that short hair with got a little bit of a bald spot back there, and you'll be able to see just the edge of a little beard or something. Yeah, be good. And I'm showing. That's funny. That's funny to get thrown off of a show and then do your own scenes later.
Yeah.
But I couldn't call it Ray Donovan. Mm-mm.
Yeah. No,
I'd have to call it Faye Convertivan. Faye. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Faye Chevy Van. How about that one? No, they wouldn't know. They couldn't sue me. What am I, blurred lines? It's not going to happen. All right. That's right. I'm not. You know what? That's what I'm going to call it. Blurred lines. This thing's writing itself now.
Exactly.
Are you kidding? I wish I had one of those electronic pins that people use. I just speak to it. All right, Jeff. Thank you. All right, we've talked long enough. Really, come on. 8 or 9 minutes with one of these people, then you realize it's great to be in the 99%. Let's go to Sean of Vermont. Yes, Sean, it's Jay Thomas. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question because I want to be an actor someday, and I was curious. When you go and
where are you right now? Where are you exactly right this minute? Where are you, and what are you doing?
Oh, I'm driving through Killington, Vermont.
In an 18-wheeler?
No, a Ford F-150.
Oh, a Ford F-150. Why don't you? Well, yeah, I can hear it. Why don't you just? And I mean it. You should go to the bank.
Yeah.
You should get. Are you married?
I am.
Okay. Go to the bank. Clean out your. You have children?
No.
Okay. Clean out your bank account. Clean it all out. Get your credit card. Go buy a few things. Head west and see you later. And that's how you do it. And that's Christina was saying, boy, he's got kind of a cool backstory. Think about your story. Christina did it. She just loaded up. What did you load up to move away from your husband to be in radio?
Everything that I can fit into a Honda Civic plus my dog, my 8-pound dog.
The dog. Mm-hmm. Goodbye. Whatever money she had it. That's it. Look, I'm sure your wife's a nice person. A lot of guys will be interested. They like to fix people's broken lives. A lot of people like that. I've never liked that kind of. If you had any troubles in the past, you don't hear from me the second time. Don't ever confess to me you're an alcoholic. You had a husband that did shit to you. We don't want all that. Now your wife's going to have one of those stories that guys are going to be. So she'll be fine. And then you head for New York. It's closer. Head for New York, work in a restaurant, go to acting classes. That's it.
When
you think I'm kidding. You know what? I'm not kidding.
Hey, Jay.
Christina, tell him. You know I'm not kidding.
He's not kidding. That's the
Charlotte, North Carolina.
You have to just
watching a sitcom.
Everything and get it done.
I know I can do that. Wife was right upstairs, right up the stairs. I know I can do that within days. Packed, car, gone. Gone. What?
When you research a role,
there's no researching a role.
Like when you
either pack up and get out, or don't call me back until you're gone. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. I got to call up here and want to be something. Go do it. Got the little wife at home in where fucking Cream Cheese, Vermont, or wherever you live. Probably has one of those trees in the back, and they've got one of those sap catchers in it. For the delicious syrup. Mm-hmm. I've never been to Vermont, but I am. Well, you know what? I have been. I was in the singing in the shower competition for the barbershop quartets.
Of course you
They
were.
still have. Yeah, I was. They still have it. It's the barbershop quartet championships or something, and I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I had them on as a guest, like I do Crazy Guest, and they were all singing and everything else. And I said, wow, not Burlington, Vermont. I forget. Somebody will know it. But and so I flew from Charlotte. I sang Rubber Ducky in the shower at the championship. They got me in the shower. We had audio. They hooked it up to a loudspeaker. I'm not kidding. Loudspeaker. I stayed in this beautiful area of Vermont for like 3 days. I've never been so bored in my life.
Aww.
You're the one.
Yeah.
You make bath time.
I sang this in some little town in Vermont.
I'm awfully fond of you.
Did you have the squeaker?
I'm awfully fond of you, Rubber Ducky. Many of you don't realize that I was on the Muppets for years. Rubber Ducky, Rubber Ducky.
You can't get rid of that Goofy laugh, can you?
I can't. Of course. I auditioned for Goofy and never could recover.
Hey, Jay,
Yes.
if you wanted to shoot people with foreign accents back in 1776, your son Sam says that it would be a Kentucky long rifle, similar to Davy Crockett's Old Betsy.
Oh, and I would give it a name. You know what I would call it? Good old Christina.
Aw,
That's what I would call it. So that every time I pulled its trigger, you would jump somewhere.
That's right.
Every time I fired one
short.
off, she would be like 200 miles away, and she'd go, "Ooh!" like that. Well, I guess he just pulled the trigger on old Christina, like that. Put the names back up. The friggin', $12 email that I bought from Hillary Clinton is not working. Boy, I love that one, by the way, the email thing. You have a personal email, don't you, Steve?
Yeah, a couple.
Can I see it?
No.
Yeah, I can't see your email.
No. Why do you need to see my email?
Well, it might concern something that we've talked about.
No.
Now, what about your company email that I send you stuff on? Can I see that?
You do when I send you emails.
I see your email, don't I?
Yeah.
But could I see some of the emails back and forth, some of the things you and Christina say? Because I might need to see what's going on.
No, we don't want you to cry.
Really?
Yeah.
But you'd be more willing to show me that than you would your own, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And you know what? Conversation over at that point. That's it. Ball game. By the way, if you want to see what they did in the State Department, their emails are available due to the, Freedom of Information Act. And she was a part of the State Department, and she would use her personal email. There's no doubt about that. But anything that went to the State Department where they weren't using their personal email is still in the State Department server. Did you know that?
Yeah,
it's still there. But that's the way it is, right? So, and by the way, they're still looking for, somebody going, "Oh, let them all die in Benghazi." They're really looking for that email, that one. Boy, it'd be funny if I got your email and you went, "Hey, you know that Benghazi? Fuck them." Yeah, that's what they'd be looking for. So, Dan of St. Louis, it's Jay Thomas. Yes, go ahead, Dan. Hello? Yeah.
Hello?
Dan, go ahead. Yes, Dan, go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to be in New Orleans for a couple weeks. I was wondering if you could tell me some places to go.
Mitzi's Whorehouse.
Yeah. Have you ever been there wearing your mailman uniform?
Yeah, I have. I go there all the time with the mailman uniform. I hope whatever you're driving flips off the road, and there are people that could save you, but they don't, and you burn to death. All right, get rid of him. Get rid of him. And I hope that we play audio or video of your screaming last moments. That's what I'm hoping for you. Now, I'm going to tell you something.
Who needs a musket?
I don't need a musket. You want to hear what I need? All I need is my ability to get into your head and make you think that maybe, just maybe, you may not be watching that road as well as you ought to, because there's a lot of flipping and there's a lot of live burnings out there.
and just to ensure your death, they can rescue you, but
they can, but they don't.
Refused.
Why didn't you rescue him? Well, you know that the doorknob was really hot. It was just hot. But wait a minute. He was inside yelling, help me, I can't open this door from the inside. I know. Well, why didn't you just take your shirt off? And well, I have man tits, and I just didn't want that, on anybody's phone. So you didn't take your shirt off to wrap your hand up and save a man's life? You ever listen to that Jay Thomas show at Sirius XM? Yes. Well, he said the next time we see this guy, that we should let him burn up inside of his car, even though we could save him. All right. Anyway, the NSA had a terrible break-in, which is, our National Security Administration. It's at Fort Meade, which is in Maryland. It just happened early today. An SUV of some sort. I mean, it's way far away from the thing. And this is like Fort Knox, literally. Right? And like the Pentagon, I'm sure, is also. So these two guys crashed, but it's just come over that they were wearing women's clothing. There were two guys. It's a suicide mission. The thing didn't blow up. They just rammed into something, jumped out, and either started shooting, and they were killed instantly. Or either one's in critical condition, but the other one's dead. Do you have that ABC report that I sent you? Hopefully it says they were in a women's clothing.
No, the one you sent me does not have audio.
Oh, it doesn't?
Nope.
Does it say they had women's clothing on? Two men dressed in women's clothing. I saw that right before we came on the air. That they pulled them out. They were both wearing a frock.
Yes. They were both dressed as women.
They were both dressed as Bruce Jenner. Yeah, they both jumped out. So they thought maybe that the softness of a woman would get them through the security or something of the place. They're completely wrong. Completely, totally, absolutely, 100% insane. I mean, they're going to stop everybody. Are you nuts? That's what's so weird. You mean you leave the house knowing you're going to die? I don't even know how that works. I don't even know. That's such a bad choice of armies, What would you like to be in? Air Force, the infantry, the tank command, sniper, the Navy, or the suicide army? Let's see. I get seasick. I get a little airsick, too. Infantry, it's in the mud and all. Let me think. How's that suicide thing work? Well, you get in it, and we train you. I mean, you learn how to shoot and everything else. And then we send you either filled with bombs, like in a pack. What's that weigh? About 30 pounds. Okay. But we jog you for a while in a weight vest. Oh, and we jog you around, and you learn how to shoot and everything else. You're going to wear all black or a woman's outfit. That's the newest thing we've been doing lately. Really? Yeah. Have you been to Target to see the new Bruce Jenner, Belinda Jenner styles they're serving over at Target? No. Well, that's what we're using. So you go in, and you say goodbye to everybody, and we take care of your family and stuff. Oh, how are you going to do that? You have a wife? Yeah, I do. Well, some other guys wearing all black are going to start fucking her as soon as you're dead. Oh, that's cool. Thanks. So then you get in the suicide army. We train you, feed you whatever you want to eat, anything. And then you go and you die. Man, sign me up. You know how dumb you have to be to think that's even a good idea? That's just, it's so weird. And then the kids, sneaking over, going to Turkey, whatever. Whew, boy. Find out what hostel they're staying in and just bingo. They're always staying in a hostel with a shared bathroom. By the way, even when I didn't have enough money, there's no me staying in a thing where people with backpacks sleep with bed bugs that could carry you and 5 other people away, and then go in a shared shower. How much is it? Oh, it's $60 a night. No shit. They have them in New York now. Like, you sleep in a bunk bed, and you go down the hall, and it's like $100 a night or something like that. Kind of an iPod, kind of a thing. You know how small the room is? I strapped one to my wrist over the weekend. Okay. Anyway, by the way, innovations and designs in sleeping, you just kind of come home at night, you fall in your bed, and that's kind of it. You're looking around, what you put a top on it, you do all kind of things to get it your way. And then, of course, here comes the Sleep Number people, and they're going, why don't we just make a bed that you can customize, depending on how tired you are, what your physical needs are, and give it all new Sleep IQ technology. Okay? So your Sleep Number bed will know exactly how well you slept last night. And you can customize your Sleep Number. And now you can save $600 on the Sleep Number i8 bed, rated #1 by a leading consumer magazine. $600 savings on the Sleep Number i8 bed, top rated by the leading consumer magazine. You'll know better sleep. You'll find your Sleep Number at sleepnumber.com, where you'll see a number of 450 Sleep Number stores nationwide. There has to be one near you. So go to sleepnumber.com. Be sure to tell them Jay Thomas sent you. For a good night's sleep, they've got your number.
Jay's high-tech now. He's moved past MySpace and has email. Hit up Jay at jthomasshow@gmail.com. He reads them all once he can figure out how to open them. More with the Jay Thomas Show right after this on Sirius XM Indie. Welcome back to another hour of the Jay Thomas Show. We have a lot to fill, so give us a call, 866-99-INDIE. Or for those BlackBerry users from 2003, it's 866-99-6343. You know who you are. Now, here's Jay Thomas.
Is that the guy that's on the late show on CBS?
No.
Is that him? You know good and well that when I'm arguing with people, I continue to nudge them the whole time.
No.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Good
sorry.
word, nudge.
I'm one of these. Oh, yeah? Well, you know what? The next time, I won't even ask. I won't even fucking ask. It gets quiet. And don't ask me, because I don't want to hear it now. I tried to say something, but don't ask, so don't ask. I'm done. Let somebody else ask. I'll do it for days. Over and over again. So that's why I have a radio show, so that every time I hear something, I want to keep repeating it. That's it. That's me. You should know that about my... I'm actually, repeats are my life. What do you think of that? Mm-hmm. I should take more time off here. Well, we once did a survey to find how many gay, bisexual, transsexual, and gender reassigned people there were in the United States. It's under 2%. It's like a 1.5%. That's it. Well, I was shocked by that. Absolutely shocked. And I said, well, let's move it to 2%, But it's a very small percentage of the country. And the same thing with the Native Americans who are wreaking havoc. And I'll talk about that in a little while. So now you're not allowed to make any jokes at all about anybody doing anything, right? And I wasn't making a joke earlier. I believe, given what we know about the Kardashians, once Bruce Jenner makes the complete turn, is he going to be Belinda, Beverly? Haven't they picked the name out for him?
Belinda he picked, yeah.
Belinda he picked.
Which I hate.
Oh, you hate Belinda?
Yeah, I don't like it.
What about having the big man arms and the big man neck and the big man legs?
That I don't mind so much.
That doesn't throw you, huh?
No.
Good. So, and being able by the, hey, Belinda, come on, let's race, Belinda's going to run your ass down, right? You know good and well that Kris Kardashian is going to have a Belinda Jenner deal at Target. It's going to happen.
What?
What? She's going to have to wear dresses, And there's going to have to be designer dresses. You don't come out of the Kardashian family, become a woman, and then you look like, your Aunt Sally, in some sort of a sack.
Well.
She's going to wear designer outfits. They're going to make handmade, beautifully designed outfits that complement the former Bruce Jenner's body. And that's probably a market. There are a lot of women that aren't gay that look and are built like men.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of ex-athletes, and they're women. And, there was some basketball coach over the weekend, some woman, and I thought for the whole game she was a man because she wore like a man's kind of a checked shirt and a belt and, kind of man's pants. And I thought, wow, no, but then I realized it wasn't. And I'm thinking, she's still a woman, even if she likes other women. It doesn't make any difference. She'll want a dress. And I think that Belinda Jenner's outfits, you don't think so, Christina? All you know about them?
I misheard you. I thought you were saying that Kris Jenner was going to get the deal going, and I just feel like they're divorcing.
No,
I don't think Kris Jenner would help him with that at all.
I don't.
You're wrong. That's $1 jillion.
Too. I mean,
but there she's like disowning him at this point in time.
She doesn't really.
No, she isn't.
She is.
She's dating somebody else. He's like younger than her own children. She's not very interested in what's happening with Bruce Jenner. I don't believe.
She said she's in total support of Bruce. She's known about it for a long time.
Of course she's going to say that. She can't say anything else. She can't go
You're
out
acting
against
like she's embarrassed. You're acting like she's not embarrassed. Bruce Jenner is a big transsexual dollar sign all of a sudden. Huge money. I'm telling you now. I might even wear a BJ little smock every now and again. To have a little thing with BJ on.
Yeah, you're going to wear a BJ smock?
I am.
Okay.
A little thing.
Because
it'll put it over my masculine shoulders and yet add kind of a softness.
You mean like Belinda Jenner, or is this like when you give a BJ?
Belinda Jenner.
Oh, okay.
BJ
I don't know.
brand.
It could go either way.
It's both.
BJ brand.
He has his BJ bib on, and he's going to the store to get his BJ Belinda Jenner outfits.
Okay.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
He still
exclusively at Kohl's.
He still wears bibs when he gives BJs there. Don't get
so now Jamie Foxx goes to the iHeartRadio thing. There used to be some other company, but I think they owed people a lot of money, so they just changed the name of the company. Hey, whatever happened to the money that Clear Channel owed everyone? What? Who?
They
what?
made iHeartRadio.
Yeah. What about that iHeartRadio? Oh, they're doing great. They're fabulous. Hey, what about that Harry Simpson that owed like millions of dollars to the bank? Harry Simpson doesn't live here anymore. I'm Jake Pearsall. Jake Pearsall. I don't know anybody. Yeah. So here we go. Jamie Foxx gets in trouble. I guess saying something funny about Bruce Jenner. Here we go.
We got some groundbreaking performances here too tonight. We got Bruce Jenner will be here doing some musical performances. He's doing a his and her duet all by himself.
iHeartRadio Music Awards host Jamie Foxx sparked a firestorm of reactions on social media after his transphobic remarks about Bruce Jenner's reported
transphobic.
Look, I'm just busting your balls. While I still can.
Jamie's monologue jokes may have caused criticism, but the performance of his new song, You Changed Me with Chris Brown, got the crowd on its feet.
All right, that's good. Thank you. I wanted to bust his balls while he still has them. Very funny. And a his and her duo by himself. I mean, really. I don't even think Bruce Jenner gets mad at that. Oh, and who? Where is that from? Like the Huffington Post or something?
This one was
right?
Yahoo Celebrity.
Do these people that are the announcers on internet news outlets, the audio announcers, do they realize that they don't ever have a chance of doing anything else anywhere because they're awful?
No.
They're bad readers. They're stiff. They have nasally voices. I mean, it's almost like they want them to sound like every loser who has a blog.
They are those.
There's a ton of, there are people that have successful blogs, and they're 1%. And the 99% of blogs are losers, zeros.
They're just using their in-house staff. They're not going out and looking for talent to do these quick hits on the videos. They're mostly the people that are writing the stories, and they're just in the office. Like, here, hey, talk for 5 minutes in front of the camera.
Well, you'd bust out of that group because we've taught you how to talk.
That's right.
I don't know about, Steve over there to your left. By the way, every now and again, a miracle is sent from God. Every now and again, I look at stuff and I think, man, these evangelicals, like the other day, Ted Cruz announced he was going to run for president from Trinity University, the home of Jerry Falwell, who's dead now. He's dead. And he was talking about God and his moral obligations and all of this stuff. About 40-something years ago, John Kennedy almost wasn't elected because he was a Catholic, and people were afraid that he would do something religious when he became the president. And he had to give he gave a speech. Religion has no place in politics. And then there was a guy named Barry Goldwater a few years later, and he is a big Republican, gigantic Republican. He wanted to bomb Vietnam into submission. And after he was defeated by Lyndon Johnson and he started bombing Vietnam, Goldwater gave a speech once and said, "Remember me? I'm the bastard that wanted to bomb Vietnam." And he won like 1 or 2 states. But he was many people quote him to this day. He is a known, conservative who the conservative movement, he wouldn't be as conservative now, but a much better guy than they made him a warmonger back then. His quote, when evangelicals tried to tell him what to do and enter into, and you can look this up, Barry Goldwater said, "Every Christian ought to kick Jerry Falwell in the ass." Look it up. Look it up. Jerry Falwell is a snake oil salesman, as is Pat Robertson. They're insane. Completely and utterly insane. Why would God choose those two idiots? I may believe in God, but God didn't pick those two. Did he pick, what's his name, Creflo Dollar? Are you crazy? Didn't pick those people. That's Satan on earth. On earth, that's Satan, those guys. When Jerry's dead. God, I wish you could come back. I'd love to hear how hot it is down there in hell. All of it. You know what I would do? I would work to become a billionaire so I could air condition hell. What do you think of that? Wouldn't that be something if, like, Warren Buffett goes to hell and he air conditions it? He could do that. He could. And then what? Then it becomes kind of, it'll still be warm, but there'd be air conditioning. The devil can't take it all the time. Burning, 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 burning. By the way, the more coal that we keep getting out of the ground, the less hot hell is going to be. I read that this morning in Scientific American. Anyway, God will send a signal every now and again that even turns someone like me in the other direction. These are two people. Do you know what state they're in, Steve?
No.
They are looking at the ultrasound of their 11-week-old child, and they're singing, "If you make me happy." It's not for real.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
And the fetus. Shut up. I almost can't say it. I almost can't say it. You've seen it, Christina. Mm-hmm. The fetus. Many of you may want. You know what I want to do? All of you that are on computers, this is great. What I'm about to do. This is so modern. I can't believe I'm going to do it. Everyone that's on a computer, go to the website with the fetus clapping. This is genius. Genius. Go to it, and then we'll all run it together. What do you think of that, Christina? Huh? Huh?
Yeah, it's a genius idea. Ugh, this whole thing turns my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Is this real? This is actually happening?
Wait a second. You mean to tell me that you just blew my idea off and went, yeah, it's a good idea.
No, it's a great idea.
It's my stomach.
Because there's a human thing inside of you, and it's clapping hands.
Right.
That
Okay.
I can't. It's hard for me to grasp, and it's hard for me to get excited about anything right now because it's very alien-like. You know.
So here we go. The little four-fingered zygote. Go ahead. Let's listen to the reaction.
Yeah, and you know it. Clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it.
And your face will show it. If you're happy.
Thank God she knows the word.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm happy for them. It sounds like a really great moment and everything, but
It's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Of course, it has to be bullshit.
Yes, it has to be.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. And they're not reacting like it's a fetus clapping a hand. They're reacting like they made it and it's funny, right? And the fetus might have moved its hands together or whatever, and then they just added the singing and all. There are millions and millions of evangelicals that are sending this around today as proof of the life in the womb. Now, I'm not saying it's not true, but the child wasn't clapping its hands to the whatever. Yeah, unbelievable. And then we had everybody online watching it with us.
Took that video up to 4 million hits.
I felt like an AI just now. You know what I mean? You know what AI is, don't you? Artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very alien.
I just tapped that into my new iPhone watch and came right up. You know what's bad, though? The tape has torn the hair off of my wrist. Hurts. And in Oklahoma, where in God's name would those kids have learned that horrifying chant that was, racist about how there would be no blacks in SAE? And here's the final report from the University of Oklahoma. Go ahead.
Results from OU's investigation determined that chant learned at a national SAE leadership gathering and brought back to OU.
It was learned by chapter members at a national leadership cruise sponsored by the national organization 4 years ago.
President David Boren said that chant then became part of SAE's culture.
Over time, the chant was formalized by the local chapter and was taught to pledges as part of the formal and informal pledgeship process.
Boren said the university disciplined 25 students in addition to the 2 he expelled in connection with the chant and the fraternity. The president of OU's Black Student Association applauded Boren's investigation.
I like that he was very thorough and he made sure to get all the information that he could and did what he could to rectify it from his stand.
President Boren was asked about SAE ever coming back on campus here at OU. He said that is highly unlikely, if ever, especially as long as he's president here. On the OU campus in Norman, Wendell Edwards, KOCO, 5 News.
Wow. They learned it at a leadership thing, and then they taught it for years. So what, nobody on campus ever mentioned it to anybody? Ever? Never heard before? Nothing? Kind of weird. Was it a spy that sent that out? If they've been doing it for years, like 5 or 6 years? Did they know who sent? Did the old lady send it out? The crazy mother of the house?
The crazy old lady was one of the people who videotaped it, but several people posted it online. They have their several angles from that bus trip, so more than one person videotaped that and put it online. So they're all idiots.
I wonder. Well, I wonder if they were trying to turn them in. You've got to know when you send that out that you're done for. You've got to. That's crazy. And I wish the reporter, was the reporter African American?
Yes.
Is it the report?
Yes.
Yeah. I wish he'd have said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Right into the camera. Are you fucking kidding me? Speaking of college and spring break, I was raised and went to school in Panama City, Florida. It was gorgeous. The most beautiful water in the world, beautiful beaches and everything else. Completely ruined. The city fathers let them build every piece of shit you can build and let people just overrun it at spring break to the point where most of us, and I mean for a long time, have been going to Destin, Florida, which is about, 40 miles, east. And Destin has completely been overbuilt, and most of my friends that were in the construction and or real estate business in Destin, Florida, made tons of money and then moved to like Aspen or someplace else, or California where you have rules, because it's completely overrun. So The Florida police are pondering some spring break restrictions after 7 were wounded in a house party in Panama City. Now, here's the funny thing. 7 are wounded. Blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. They go down there and they can't find any of the victims, so the news reporter, believe it or not, sees a car with Indiana plates on it. And the car, and they go in, and there's a family there. And they go, excuse me, we're from wherever it is. And the people say, we have no, we don't want to make a comment. No comment, please. And the person says, well, did you know that there were 7 people shot here last night? Christina and Steve,
wow.
They were the new renters. They just kept the rental. They sent in a cleaning crew, the people that own the house, cleaned up the blood. I don't know. It looked like they rented it just the next day. And the family went, yeah, we're staying. We're at the beach. It's spring break. Close the door. I know.
No refunds.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's right by the beach. Who gives a shit if people were gunned down?
I'm sure
What difference
I've
does it
stayed
make?
in worse, the Jersey Shore.
But the next day? No. No. I would have made the people pay for my hotel room. I'm not staying there. What? In gunshot home? No. Kids, you get lead poisoning. The kids crawling on the floor.
Got a gripe? Want to hear Jay talk all over you? Grab the phone and dial us up. 866-99-INDY. Now, back to the chatter with Jay Thomas on Sirius XM Indy.
Speaking of Bruce Jenner and his family, Bruce just bought he bought a house in Malibu for $3.5 million. And his daughter, Kylie, bought a Mediterranean-style home in a gated Calabasas community where her mother and sisters live for $2.5 million. How old is Kylie?
17.
$2.5 million home.
High school dropout.
She's a high school dropout.
Yeah, she dropped out of high school, bought this house, and is dating a 25-year-old rapper who stinks.
Mm-hmm. All true statements.
Swimming pool, spa, views of the Pacific Ocean. Bruce's place has 11 acres and 360-degree canyon, it's unbelievable views. Unbelievable. The daughter, her house is almost 5,000 square feet, 2 stories, built 10 years ago. Living room, dining room, 2 built-in entertainment centers, library, study. What does she need that for? I think the library is just filled with what? Incredible books? 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, courtyard, 3-car garage. 26-foot-long dining table, barbecue center, swimming pool, spa. She's 17. That's pretty crazy. Now, what would she do for a living? Does she has the show?
She's on the show with the other sisters, and she takes
they have deals
Instagram
every
photos.
which way possible. They have a deal with PacSun. They have they're authors or something. Her and her sister wrote some sort of book that the two of them.
Oh, they never read it. When they interviewed him, they asked the sister about it, and the sister didn't know anything about what the plot was.
Right, and then there was another time where they were introducing somebody at a award show, and the other sister, Kendall, she flubbed up. She's like, "I'm so sorry, guys. I'm the worst reader," and they had just put the book out that week. It was so funny. But they do everything. Yeah, they have a hand in everything.
They're beyond embarrassment. But that you can't embarrass them. I think if I was a woman,
always going to laugh all the way to the bank.
That's true. But there is an embarrassment level that even if you're wealthy, you would be embarrassed and go, well, we have so much money now. Maybe we'll just stop being having people make fun of us, and we'll just have our money and invest it, and we'll live fabulous lives.
They can choose their own reality. So if there's anything
Right.
that can embarrass them, they could just say, "Oh, well, that was for this reason."
Put it out of your
or
head.
That reason.
Sure.
Yeah. And then they just do something else, like take another selfie, and then we all forget about it because the big news is, how did Kylie Jenner's lips get that big? You know, like that's they just change. They're in and out of it so quickly that they could just change your mind before you even know it.
You imagine somebody who maybe lived in the United States and was in a coma for a while, and they wake up after 15 years, and they just are reading all about these Kardashian people and all the stuff that's going on, and the person just woke up and they go, wow, this Kardashian thing, I haven't seen any of their movies. Are they good actors? No, they can't act. Oh, then as talk show hosts, are they glib? Are they funny? Are they informative? Do they do landscaping or interior design? No. No. Do the kids sing? Is it a group? They've got the two older daughters and the younger daughters and all. It's the Kardashians, some sort of an a cappella, Armenian a cappella group. No. No. Do they all have beautiful? No, they have big, huge asses, big, giant asses. Yeah. You need HD TV, 3D. Whether you have 3D or not, their asses, sometimes their asses are on channel, 28 and on 29. That's how big their asses are. Need 2 channels. They wouldn't get it. No one would understand it. It's the oddest thing. Can we think of anybody else who never did anything, who was incredibly wealthy and, to this extent and doesn't go away? Everybody else has a talent. They're comedic. They're a talk show host. You may not agree or disagree or think they're funny or whatever, but they did something. I can't think of anyone who never did one thing and who wasn't born rich that has done what the Kardashians have done. That's the book, the one and only, because they've done nothing. It's the oddest thing. Me, I'm always, self-analyzing. And Christina, you truly believe that you could live that life and you would feel fine about yourself.
Why would you
I am
say
telling
that? What are you talking about?
Because you seem...
Because I
every
watched
time,
the show? It doesn't mean anything. I would never
you don't
wanna
just
live
watch
that
the
life.
show. You're like that movie Pleasantville. You actually go into the TV with them, probably.
No, not true.
You're in there with them.
Okay, if that's what you want to say, fine, but that's not true at all.
You'd be Punky Kardashian. That's what they call you. You're like Punky Brewster. Yeah. We've got Kim and Chloe and who's the other one?
But my name doesn't start
Khalil.
with a K. What are you doing?
What is it?
You're gonna make me
Courtney.
an outcast right away.
Kim, Courtney,
there's
Khalil.
Yeah, but
That's
he's
not-
an
you got-
outcast. He
you
doesn't
got-
belong there.
There's Rob. Oh, the kid, the son. Who knows about him? Then you have Kylie, and then what's the other daughter's
Kendall
name?
Kendall. and Chloe.
Kendall.
Forgot
Yeah.
about No, he started
And then,
Oh.
and introducing Punky Kardashian. Then you'd be there with that little picture of you. that you
Punky would be your
put on
nickname. They
Facebook.
changed Christina to a K.
Right. There
Oh
we
yeah.
go.
You'd be
Punky's your
Pun- oh,
nickname.
that's right. It's Christina. Yeah.
Christina, quote unquote,
Christina.
heavy on the K, 'cause it's K.
Yeah.
Christina.
Hey.
Quote unquote punky.
You know what your clothing line would be? KKK. They do that. Sell it all down south. That's right. Hey, I'm gonna buy my daughter's getting some of that Punky KKK outfit on. She's doing it. You ever watch Punky Kardashian? Ones that owns the chains of KKK
Why
pizza
does
powers.
this sound like Honey Boo Boo? Not the.
Yeah.
Combination of all your
And
shows.
I know,
There's
right?
You
dancing.
actually think about this. You have more talent than all of them. You can announce. You can produce. You have more talent than all of them. And what's funny is they don't have any plans, and they're not practicing to do anything differently in the future. Like if one of them said, "Look, I'm taking acting classes. I want to try and do something, and maybe I'm not going to be any good at it, but I have all of this notoriety." That's amazing to me. Their inability to even care about, no, I'm just going to, marry another athlete or rapper, and I think I'm going to be fine. I just can't wait till they get old and the bulges really, at a certain point.
It doesn't matter. First of all, it's not going to happen because they've got enough money and enough of a team of people and tricks up their sleeves. They'll never age.
They've got like what? Wait a second. Fountain of Youth. Fountain of Youth tricks up their sleeves.
More. Yeah, and then they're just going to keep making more of them. And then they're just going to double in size. And before you know it, this whole family is going to take over the world.
What's the baby's name? The little teeny baby?
Northwest. Kanye's daughter, you mean? Or Penelope? There's a Penelope now.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
There's Penelope Kardashian West.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's
and
Mason.
North
He's the boy. And then there's
West.
Penelope.
West.
And that's,
okay.
those two are
and they'll all have
Scott.
TV shows.
No, those two are from The Alcoholic, the white guy.
Disick.
And yeah, Scott Disick.
Oh, he has children.
Yeah.
He has 3 of them.
Oh, they'll never get rid of him. And is he still drunk and disorderly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
they're I think on the show he's in some kind of a treatment.
You know what that treatment is, don't you? It'd be like they'd hire a guy like me, and I'd go, "Okay, look, you realize if I cure you, you're off the show, right?" Yeah. So we'll do this thing, and then about 3 months after you leave treatment, you're going to come back. For like a no, we're going to drink, you and I. We're going to drink. After 90
Your
days.
middle name is Relapse.
Yeah, you're going to come back in. This is called unhab. I do unhab. I rehab you and get the headlines going, and you come back in, and I unhab you. And I start with a margarita. That's how I like to start. Yeah, unhab you. Sean, Massachusetts. Yes, Sean, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
Fine.
I think a pretty good name for your Ray Donovan spinoff.
Well, no, we can't have a spinoff. It's going to have to be kind of a clandestine, if they don't have me back, a clandestine, some sort of a YouTube thing with just my face and those outfits. I have to wear all black. And then a fake, we got to find somebody that can imitate Liev Schreiber, Christina. What's your take on it, Sean?
I could possibly do that for you.
No, you can't.
You want me to send a headshot?
With that accent.
But I got a good name for the show, Jay.
So you wait a minute now. Do you look like Liev Schreiber? Do you look like Ray Donovan?
I can pull off.
You got to sort of have the body type. You have the body type. Oh, you have the accent a little bit? Okay, I can do that. Yeah, we might do that. Yeah, send Christina a headshot. Yeah.
I got a good name for the show, though.
What is it?
Jay Adavan.
Jay Adavan. I can't use that. That's a known product, you idiot. Get rid of him. We'd have been sued by Adavan. Sued by them. And then they would have said the show gave him a headache. Right? We'd have been in real trouble. What does Adavan do? Does it take your headache away or something? I take no drugs except for edible brownies. That's all I take. Hey, let's welcome Darren Schuster to the Jay Thomas Show. Darren, welcome and congratulations. Brilliant idea. How are you?
Is this Jay?
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm Jay. Brilliant.
Hey,
Brilliant.
I'm a little starstruck. I'm excited.
Well, I'm glad you're here. And you're the spokesman for Luxy, Luxy, which is, go to onluxy.com. And I talk about these match sites all the time.
Yeah.
And then people complain, well, they didn't look like their picture. They had terrible debt. Their apartment was horrible. Their home was bad. Whatever. You guys have decided to, and how long have you been in business? And you've decided to change things. What's the story?
Okay, so, Luxy is a dating app that caters to wealthy individuals and attractive people. But, as you mentioned, how do you verify this kind of thing? Like, anybody can say they're anybody. I can tell you I'm tall, dark, and handsome, but if you saw a picture of me right now, it's not so true.
No, I'm looking at you now, and you look kind of like looks like you're storing nuts in your cheeks for the winter. You got one of those. And by the way, Liev Schreiber said that to me once. He said the reason why I took this show is that I'm one of the few stars on TV that looks like he's storing nuts for the winter in his cheeks. So that's actually a new look.
Thank God I got a decent personality. But
well, you do.
So
well, we'll be the judge of that. Yeah.
Okay. So what the company decided to do is they wanted to make an effort to actually verify some of the information. So, they want to verify age. They want to verify financial records. And, make some kind of an effort to create fair representation and a bit of a level playing field,
Yep. Gotcha. How do you do it?
How do you do it?
How do you do that? You just laid out a whole big thing, and then you paused on my question, and we're on the edge of our toilet seats, a lot of us. We're on the edge of our squatty potties. We like to know, how do you verify that I have money?
Okay, so, what the biggest way to verify it is that you have to submit your financial statements and tax records.
Wow.
It's pretty straightforward.
Years ago, I did a show called Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire, which was kind of the beginning of these bachelor shows and all that. And the network, Fox, and the producers got in trouble because the guy owed $1 million or owed $2 million, and he really wasn't rich. And or he said he was rich, but he had a shitty condo that overlooked a shitty golf course, and they were having trouble taking video of it without getting that stupid, TV satellite that he had sitting on the shitty little balcony. And so when it was all over, the show never came back because they proved he wasn't rich. But he had sent stuff in to say he was. So you really verify all this stuff? I mean, you would know personal stuff about me?
Have you submitted a record in your financial records to Luxy?
Yeah.
You have?
Well, no, I haven't, but you would know about me?
Well, if you were to sign up and you wanted to become a verified member of the dating platform, and you wanted to let it be known that you've been verified, you've been vetted, and in order to attract more attention for more of the ladies who have who really only want to go after somebody who's been verified, well then that's one step you'd have to take. You'd have to submit your financial record.
And Jimmy Kimmel said on national TV he wanted to punch you in the face for the other 99%ers out there.
No, not.
Yeah, I'm not easy to find.
What? Who did he want to punch in the face over this?
It was Tim, wasn't it, Darren?
Yeah, the CEO. The CEO goes by the name Tim. I'm the North American spokesperson. So if he wants to punch anybody, he can try to chase me down.
Yeah. Well, and now, is it so am I quoting you right? This is Tinder minus the poor people.
It's Tinder minus the riffraff or Tinder minus the poor people. I've used each of those alternatively.
And I totally agree with you. I mean, I couldn't be more in support of this activity. I'm not going to put you down. I mean, why not? So now what about the women? I mean, let's be honest. Do they have to have any kind of a thing other than they're just gorgeous and want to just fuck you till you're dead and get your money from you? That's what I would be going for.
I like the way you put that. We don't have a feature worded quite that way. But
really? I want a woman that's going to treat me nice because I'm rich and just, oh yeah. I love that. I mean, people always go, well, what about, is it her? Does she love you? Or does she love your does she love your shit? I don't care as long as they're nice to me.
Yeah, right. What do you care? Look, I mean, these types of sites that really put money out there and financial assets out there and allow members to show their pictures of their yachts, their Lamborghinis, and their summer homes. Of course it's going to attract young, attractive women. So what is that? So let's get this straight. Let's see if this exists in the real world. Older, affluent men looking for younger, attractive women. I mean, we're not exactly doing God's work. I mean, maybe we are doing God's work here, quite frankly.
Right. I once masturbated in a Louis Vuitton coin purse.
Well, how did that work out for you?
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I gotta get that shot.
Yeah, please do. But you know what? Go to the outlet store. I mean, it may not be the top quality
they got
leather,
security cameras. They got security.
They do. No, I didn't steal it. I didn't know. I bought it and took it home and did it in the privacy of my own home. Privacy of my own home.
You're a public figure. You got to be careful.
Let's go to Jimmy, who's in Long Island. We're talking to Darren on onluxy.com, which is basically Tinder minus the poor people, and you have to give them your financial statements and all. Jimmy, you've been listening from Long Island. Are you a 1%er? Are you up there? Could you join in on Luxy? On Luxy, I mean?
You know what? I can get girls if I go to a club or a bar, and I don't need to be on this thing. But if you think
because you're
about it,
handsome? Wait a minute, you're handsome?
No, I'm a regular guy, and I can speak to people.
I got
Can you imagine how ugly these guys are, the rich guys getting these girls? It's an
So what?
service.
So what?
Service.
Darren, you don't care how ugly they are, do you? Do you care how ugly anybody is?
Look, honestly, I've gone through the site many times. I'm the PR guy. I've gone through it over and over again. I see a lot of good-looking guys, a lot of young, good-looking guys. A lot of them made a lot of money in the internet world.
You don't. I mean, why are you lying? Just be honest. You don't.
You know what, Jimmy? You know what you are? You're jealous because you're not up there with me and the rest of the 1%ers. Get rid of him. Go to Tinder. Get rid of him. You know what, Darren? They're not going to have anybody come on here with a great idea like this and let anybody shit on them as long as I'm sitting here. Are you kidding?
Well,
a lot of people want to put you down, don't they? They really do. They want to put the site down, and I mean it. I think it's fantastic. Why beat around the bush? It's what women are looking for. It's what wealthy guys go. I worked my ass off. I've divorced my wife, raised my kids. I got tons of money, and why not?
Hey, look, who's kidding who? You take two twin guys. Take two twin guys, right? Both of them good looking.
I don't think you ought to say two twin guys. Just say either two guys or twins. Either one.
Couple of guys, they're twins.
Couple of guys.
Right? They're both
couple of twins. A couple of twins. Yeah.
A pair of twins.
Pair of twins. You're an idiot. You're in the right business. You're an idiot, and I love it. So, Darren, go ahead. You take 4 pairs of twins, and then what?
You multiply it by 2. No, look, you got the.
I can't wait to go out with you one night. We go into the website, and you and I pick 2 fresh ones, and we just go bang, shang-a-lang all weekend.
I'm not sure my wife would approve, but my point is,
yeah, she would. Yeah, she
guys,
would.
Well, we'll invite her. Listen, 2 guys.
Yeah, and we'll tell everybody we're a pair of twins. What do you think of that?
2 guys. Yeah, I don't know how old you are, but listen, 2 guys look the same.
Well, that's the
right?
joke, see? Yeah, or we'll take a midget with us and say we're triplets. I like that one.
You never go wrong with a midget. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, speaking of that, what about? Hold on a second. Let me tell you something. Peter Dinklage just puts his head on your site. Peter Dinklage puts his head. Handsome man, right? Handsome man. Incredibly rich. World famous and everything else. And puts it all out there, except he doesn't put his height, right?
There you go.
The beautiful woman meets him, and because it's Peter Dinklage, and he has access to a private plane and a beautiful home and a swimming pool, Christina, how long would it take you to get over his, what do you call it? It's not a height problem. He's a challenged,
Short stature.
Short stature, that's probably bad. Height challenge is better. Christina, how long would it take you to get over it? Peter Dinklage wants to be with you.
Not long.
Not long. I take it Christina's left the room. She's so disgusted by us. Is that right?
I think her uterus is still hurting from the fetus clapping.
We had a fetus clapping a few minutes ago on YouTube, Darren. You got to look at it. So, Darren, thank you. Darren Schuster, go to OnLuxy, Luxy. If you're successful and attractive. And now, do the women have to show anything other than beauty? Do you want them to have a job? Is there any criteria, or is it just mostly for the guys?
No, both sides have the option to verify their income.
Okay,
right?
Cool. It's an app. You just get it from the App Store. It says here it's the #1 luxury social dating app for wealthy men and beautiful people.
And it really is. Yeah, there's like 175,000 downloads in 90 days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Darren Schuster. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Real pleasure. Thanks, man.
Okay. Bye-bye. You know what I like? I like when somebody does something that's totally ridiculous, and yet they take complete credit for it. Laugh about it, have a good time, and 175,000 downloads in 90 days. I'm sure, Steve, it makes you wish you were one of the 1%ers, that you could just, on your phone,
I don't think this dating site alone is one of those reasons why, but it's not the only reason. But yeah, of course you'd want to be one of the 1%.
Like Hotel Tonight. You go to that, you get a cut-rate hotel.
Yeah.
You go to this app. You go to onluxury.com, or you go to the luxury app. I'm lonely tonight. Now, let me get a break in a hotel room, but let me get a woman that wants a guy that has a ton of money. We just go to that. Bing, bang, boom. And the guy, what's the difference between this and an escort service? Who cares? As long as you can have a good time. What are you looking for God's sakes? Yeah, everybody's always putting it down. Not me. I'm telling you. Hey, listen, that Peter Dinklage, he's married to a woman, and she said she went to a party and met him. Now, he was already Peter Dinklage, and she never even thought about his height. What do you think of that? Do you know why that was, Steve?
Why is that?
He was sitting on his wallet. All right. You like that?
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you what, you marched right in there with a musket, or whatever I was on, whatever gun that was. That does Christina have the? Does she have the runs or something? She had to leave the studio. What happened?
I don't know. She just said she'd be right back. I didn't ask in case in fear if it was lady stuff.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be.
I just said okay, no problem.
You got to be very, very careful. Speaking of beautiful. This Amanda Knox, the woman that was accused of murder in Italy, is so gorgeous and so sultry looking. And if I'm not mistaken, after the murder of her roommate, and they put this African guy in jail, but I've never understood if the African guy testified against she, and her boyfriend's last name is like Sausalito or something like that. And she acted weird when they arrested her. Do you remember the case at all, Steve? I think she sat on her boyfriend's lap and acted kind of weird and actually confessed that they were into some kind of drug-fueled, kinky sex evening.
Yeah.
And things went wrong. Yeah.
I mix all these like female femme fatales like Amanda Knox and Casey Anthony. I tend to mix up their cases a lot.
Well, she's so beautiful and just gorgeous, breathtaking. And then she spent 3.5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they let her go on Friday, I believe. They said that she was not going to be brought back.
Right. She was convicted, unconvicted, back and forth several times.
Now, what about the guy that went to jail? Did he ever say they did or didn't have anything to do with it? The guy is from like Cameroon or something like that. And he's gone to jail forever. They were sentenced to 25 years in prison, and they spent 3, and then they got out. And she has a new fiance, and they were saying that if she got pregnant, they got married and she got pregnant. They don't put pregnant people in jail in Italy or something. It could add 5 or 6 years. If I was her boyfriend, I would be. We got to start just banging away now. You betcha. Every one of these women, including the released murderess, the alleged, whatever she was, the woman that was accused of murder down in Florida, even her, guys are waiting for them. There ought to be an app for that. And women like these guys that go to prison.
Oh,
and that guy, Scott Peterson, love him.
They love
Amanda Knox.
Guys.
I'm sorry, but I don't think if I was introduced to Amanda Knox, no matter how beautiful she was, I think I would go out with her or hang with her or whatever. I don't think I'd want to get married to her. Because every time you Google Amanda Knox for the rest of your life, it's going to come up accused and did some time allegedly for an alleged murder that she did or did not commit. Yeah, kind of weird. But, man, she is just so fine. So incredibly fine. And I don't know if I'm happy or not. I don't know anything about the poor English woman.
Torn. You don't know how you feel about it.
I don't know how I feel about her getting loose. I don't know. I looked at it, I thought, what's the, my feeling is that, she's tarnished goods. She's tarnished goods. But she acted weird. And I want to know what the guy that's in jail said to her. That's what I'd really like to know, Also, at University of Virginia, the story that started all of this, everybody's getting raped at college. I mean, it started all of it from Charlottesville, Virginia. None of that's true at all. They've done 4 investigations. What sort of idiots work at Rolling Stone? I mean, if we went online, and we have a guest coming up, let's say, and we get all the information we can get, hopefully you can verify it, or you ask them if it's true or whatever, and if it looks really weird, all you have to do is call up the place they say they were, and they'll either verify or to say it never happened, right? They didn't even do that. There wasn't even a gathering the evening of the so-called rape by this woman. This is like the kids clapping in the womb, right? This is a made-up thing to get people, and stupid Rolling Stone went for it. Completely went for it. Man, I mean, when did you go to college, Steve? How long ago?
Over 10 years ago.
Oh, were people raping and grabbing women and stuff? 10 years ago. That's recent history.
I think there was some groping stuff, but I didn't know anybody. Oh, there was actually my freshman year. This guy I knew, his roommate and some of his friends who were not at the university. There was a train or a gangbang, whatever you want to call it. A few guys slept with this girl, and then she claimed rape, and then he got kicked out of school. Yeah.
And that was it. He didn't go to jail.
Not that I know of, no.
Yeah. Well, the other sad thing is most of these women are completely drunk, or they're giving them a roofie or whatever. But a lot of them are just really drunk. And speaking of this, no, I would not take Jameis Winston over Mariota from Oregon. I'd take Mariota. In a minute.
Because of all the off the field stuff.
Yeah, no, but Jameis Winston, I think, is not going to stop doing all that stuff. How's he been punished? He stole crab legs. He's accused of whatever, rape. He did get a blowjob in the stall, I guess, and then he yelled all kind of, and he just graduates, wins the national championship, and is the number 1 draft pick. Why would you stop doing anything? I wouldn't. Yeah. To me, it's like, hey, here's another award, Hey, Amy Winehouse, they found you, almost dead 6 times. Here's another Grammy. It validates that your behavior is fine. You don't do it with the kids. Your son just burnt down the garage. Oh, let's get him a new car and forget about it. Didn't happen. He'll be all right. No, it validates. I would take the other kid. Is Marcus Mariota religious?
I'm not sure about
religious.
That.
Yeah. He looks bigger than Winston, by the way. Looks like he's taller. I was surprised. Maybe it was the way the shot was taken. Whenever I took shots, and to this day, I always stand on my toes when I take a group shot. Yeah. So I'm at least 5'6".
They're the same height.
They're the same height.
Yeah.
Mark of Maryland's Jay Thomas. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Jay, you got that Amanda Knox thing all wrong. You got to read a great book called The Monster of Florence.
The monster, is it her? Is it she's the monster?
No, it's about a murder back in, I guess, around the 60s there. And it ties into the Amanda Knox case because McNeely, the magistrate for that murder, was the same magistrate there. And these fucking guys, they're like Keystone cops over there. I mean, I would no more go to Italy than you would go to France. You know? I mean, if you're in the wrong place...
It's Mexico where I don't go to... France I'd go to. It's Mexico I won't go to.
France.
No, I don't. I don't hate you. Unless they announce that Jean Bouvelet is going to be the new Tonight Show host, then it drives me nuts.
But you wouldn't believe the way their justice system works over there. I mean, you got
in Italy.
It's a kind of.
Well, you know what? When you see an Italian, I only see them in the movies. They go like this. Hey, Gino. Hey, you don't imagine them being brilliant. It's sad, isn't it? They never show Christina, they never show like brilliant Italians on TV, except, Leonardo da Vinci. It's The Sopranos. It's Gunman, the Godfather movies. When they go to Italy, they're stabbing everybody and they, hey. You never hear them go, a professor.
No,
doctor this. You never do. They're horribly portrayed. The popes are no good. Hey, like that. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
The big thing over there in Florence was they had this guy that was killing these young couples, and that were parking because sex before marriage was so taboo.
Oh, this is kind of like a son of Son
of Sam kind of thing.
Well, what would be Italian for Sam, Christina? It would be a son of what? Samuelito? Yeah, okay. No, that's Spanish.
Something like that.
What is a son of, what's a real Italian name? Son of Antonio. Son of Antonio. Chino. Son of Dino. Yeah, son of Dino. Right. And so he was killing people because they were having sex. That's what the son of Sam apparently waited until the woman went down on the guy, and he attacked them. That's
but the thing of it is, these older guys would go sneaking around at night to find these couples parking, and then they would jack off while they were watching them have sex,
Wow.
In Christ, they'd even meet up, older guys.
Hey, what are you thinking back on your pants? Hey. All right, thank you, Mark and Marilyn. Hey. What do you got in there? All right, what is that?
Mario.
Hey.
I feel like everybody's Tony Danza. Hey, wait.
Hey. I mean, it's true. Every Italian on TV, it's not. You don't see the genius professors portrayed. Every German on TV is either a Nazi or a doctor.
Well, that's why the Italians got so angry when the Jersey Shore came along. They were so horribly offended by it. Remember?
Hey! And whenever you hear about Italy, they show Mussolini, right? He's got his lip up going, and then they go, well, he kept the trains on time. You know that, right? He demanded that the trains run on time. There are people to this day, like 95 years old. That's what they say. Where the Final Four is going to be, Steve, if you're gay in Indianapolis, if you go to the Final Four and you're gay and you go into a pizza shop and you're right near the, whatever it is, the stadium, is it the one where the Colts play? Is it the oil stadium, Lucas Oil? Yeah. If you go to a Lucas Oil place, you want to get oil in your car and gasoline or whatever, and you get out and you're obviously gay, and the owners of the place don't like that you're gay, they can refuse to sell products to you. The governor has passed that. The Congress actually passed it there in Indiana. And let's see, Exact Target, which is they have 2,000 employees in Indianapolis. Cloud One, Bill Johnson, the CEO of SalesView, said the group not only disagreed with this legislation, on a personal level, the law will adversely impact our ability to recruit and retain the best and brightest talent in the technology sector. No, you're just going to have a bunch of regular people from Indiana there. You don't belong if you're not from Indiana. I told you I work for these people. They still run the radio stations. Worst group of individuals I've ever met. Forget France, forget Mexico. I'd never go to Indiana. Ever. I mean, even when Bobby Knight was coaching at Indiana and I was doing college basketball, I thought he and his wife were committably insane. I just couldn't believe those two. This is the first wife. She was dressed in all red, had the crazy hat on, and looked scared to death of this guy. and the team got out of the bus. It's the scariest guy I've ever seen. Completely nuts, throwing the chairs, acting crazy, all that stuff. Then he leaves her. Poor darling, she wore all that red outfit. Can you imagine, Christina, you dress like like somebody vomited on Dale Evans, and then the guy leaves you.
No.
Oh, when he got out of the bus, I was waiting to go into Madison Square Garden during the NIT. When he got out of the bus, they stopped us right there, and I was showing my credentials and everything else. He gets out of the bus first, and he stands right by the bus, and the players get out, and they walk by him and go in to the dressing room. This is like 3 in the afternoon. And he was scary. And these kids looked shocked, shell-shocked, going in. He was a mean, now, great basketball coach, but there's all that screaming and yelling, throwing it. Do you ever hit anybody? Do you ever grab him? His son played for him. Didn't he yell at his son?
He's grabbed people. He's head-butted people. He's thrown chairs. He's thrown, towels and I think balls, too. Back then, it didn't matter. You could do that.
Right. The NCAA is in, Indianapolis, and they're having their Final Four. Cloud One's McDonald tweeted that the law would inhibit his ability to recruit talent and remain one of the fastest-growing IT companies in Indiana. There are people that were going to have conventions and stuff in Indianapolis, and they're not going there now. They may lose $50 million at least. An annual Indianapolis gaming conference that draws 50,000 attendees is now saying they're not going to have it in Indiana, where the state they will not serve same-sex couples. That's hard to believe. That's a major place. Unbelievable. And now, not that it's going to hurt recruiting, You're just going to get a bunch of, Ted Cruz's on your basketball team. That's all. Pretty crazy, huh? We know so many gay people. They're so nice. You imagine going out with Kevin Meaney. We go to Indiana, and Kevin can't be served. I think until you're discriminated against, you have no idea. Or you're with someone that it happens to. My God, it's heartbreaking. It's terrible, And I've been discriminated against, but certainly nowhere near, like people of color. But when I went to school in Panama City, I was a very dark complexion, Italian-looking Catholic guy. And that's not what people look like there. They were really light-skinned. There were lots of Baptists and everything else. And most of the people were from the town that went to the community college. And, I got discriminated against. It was weird, especially in the summertime. Because, if I didn't look black, I certainly looked Hispanic or something like that. So, let's go to Danny, who is in Riverside, California. Yes, Danny, the Jay Thomas Show. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Jay?
Fine.
My wife watches reality TV every night of the week, and the show that drives me through the roof is the Long Island Medium lady.
Was that the lady? I was on TV with her, wasn't I, with my son? About Christina, is that the show I was on?
No,
where
different
they went,
show.
She's the Long Island Medium.
Yeah.
They've proven all of them. Penn and Teller have proven that's all bullshit. And even when I do them now, there's some that are really good. But unless you're paying me a bunch of money, I'm going to agree with anything when you're paying me because it's for television. Does your wife believe it, Danny?
She believes it, but then again, she's a heavy Catholic. And I tell her, look, if you believe in that kind of stuff, then, you're sinning, and then we get in a big argument. So whenever she turns on the program, I just go to the living room. She watches it in the bedroom, and I just go to the living room. And,
so it's ruining your life. It's ruining your sex life. It's ruining your relationship. You got to leave it alone, Danny. Leave it alone, Danny. Leave it alone, Danny. Don't ever tell your wife. If you told your wife, basically, she's going to burn in hell.
No, I let the priest do that.
Oh!
I'm not going to bother with that. Who am I to judge? I'm no better than
What you need to do is have the priest say, your husband needs to fuck the demons out of you, Gloria. That's what you need the priest to say. He needs to fuck the demons out of you. Yeah.
I actually mentioned that in passing on Palm Sunday yesterday, but he didn't take kindly to that. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I kept looking down at my crotch going, he has risen. He has risen. That was my big joke all day yesterday. Yeah.
Hey,
and I said, somebody get a palm frond and cool this baby off. You got to cool that baby off down there. What's that? I'm the only guy in Palm Sunday, Danny, that wears ashes, by the way. Just to throw everybody.
Hey, also that
Yes.
state law that they put into effect in Indiana.
Oh yeah.
I hope that state's economy just falls into the shitter.
Boy, now look. What about people that don't like gays? They could just go to Indiana and have a big old time. That's all. And then all the other states. See, we really need this states' rights thing. That's what's sad. I'm almost believing these Republicans. Let the states decide. And so all the good conventions and everything else will happen in the states that are open. And the abortion will happen in the blue states. And then there'll be those other states that you won't have any fun. It'll teach them a lesson eventually. You know, the devil's a lot more fun than the righteous. I have a lot more fun when I'm doing evil than when I'm just being a good person. What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
I have my vices,
Yeah. I'm sorry you and the wife are having so much trouble over this Long Island medium.
Oh, it's not trouble, Jay. It's just, I tune that shit out.
Right.
I'd rather watch, a documentary on dirt or, the making of cement and the wonders of...
Well, now, wait a minute now. You're in my territory. We just had the guy on that wrote the book about rust. So you're in my territory. I'd watch a documentary on dirt or cement, okay?
Yeah, same here. I'd watch anything that's more educational than
right.
wishing I had somebody else's life.
Composting.
And knowing that you're never, ever going to meet them.
Danny, thank you very much. I'm glad you have the Jay Thomas Show to vent on.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Tony. Hey, in Cleveland. Yes, Tony, go ahead.
How you doing, Jay?
Fine.
I was my first radio job was in North Carolina.
What town?
1988. I was in Wilmington.
Oh wow, that's a good market.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was also DJing, at a country bar at night, and I was with my girlfriend for the breakfast hour after the bars closed. And she, by the way, is American Indian at the time.
Native American, American Indian, yeah. First Nation.
All right, so I get some, so we're at our breakfast table enjoying ourselves, and I get some redneck comes over to my table and
now wait a second. How would you, wait a minute. Was she wearing buckskin or something? How would you know she was Native American? I don't think you'd have to have...
Oh, I know my girlfriend was American Indian?
Yeah, how did she know? How'd the people know? Did she look like a Native American?
Yes. Straight, dark hair, complected, olive like myself. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
She was born in Oklahoma on a reservation. So
she just looks like a Native American, and there you are. What happened?
And the guy calls me, and this is in the late 80s, early 90s, calls me a hostage-holding motherfucker.
Wow. That you're holding this Indian hostage? Yeah.
No, I think because he thought maybe we were Iranian or something, and it was the time of the...
Oh!
the Iraq-Congress thing.
He thought because you had dark skin, you were terrorist people. Oh, I got you.
Yes. So he comes
that
over,
that has happened to me.
Biscuit and all this shit. I'm like, I felt more afraid for the guy, for my girlfriend kicking his ass than me.
Right. Wow.
So
how did you feel after that? That changed your whole life? That changed your life? You no longer discriminated after that?
Oh, no, I've been discriminated several times since then.
Wow.
For my being Italian, for my weight, for being a male, for a number of things.
You're a big fat Italian guy?
Well, sure. Is there any other kind?
No, I don't know if there is. No. And you got the little skinny Native American lady.
Yes.
I got a quiz for you. A group of Native Americans say they were banned from Facebook. And I'm going to we're going to go around the horn. Tony, you know the feature we have here called Around the Horn? You ever hear it on the Jay Thomas Show? Yeah, okay. You're going to be a part of it. Let's go around the horn. I believe they're going to sue Facebook. They say that they were banned from Facebook. They are obviously Native Americans. Let's go to you first, Tony of Cleveland. Why do you think Facebook would ban Native Americans?
I could not think of a good reason. I think they should not be banned from. And if
no, I'm not asking your opinion. What do you think? What do you think Facebook would think is odd about Native Americans that they wouldn't want that a part of their program?
I would think maybe they're trying to start something. Start some kind of unnecessary confrontation with people. I don't know.
I want all of you listening out there to hear how difficult it is, okay? How difficult it is. The guy couldn't think of anything. Nothing.
Yes.
Steve? Sorry. Well, there's no sorry. There's no sorry in life.
Jay. What can I say?
There's no on the spot. We have a promo that used to say, this is just like you're doing a radio show, okay? This is supposed to be the easiest fucking thing we do. You failed miserably. I'm ashamed to be an Italian. All right, go ahead, Steve. Why would they keep Native Americans off of Facebook? Why?
Because they post breastfeeding photos.
They posted what?
Breastfeeding photos. They're always walking around with the babies slung and hung on their boobies.
The women don't even have tops on in the villages.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
About yeah. I don't think that's been a long time ago. Christina, what is it? He thinks a papoose is attached to a teat, and they don't want him on Facebook.
Illegal photos of peyote use.
They're smoking peyote. Here it is. Facebook banned them because they thought their names were fake.
Oh.
Mike, Raccoon Eyes Kinney, Bobby Cat Little Cub, and Jim Little White Wolf are suing for racial profiling because they thought that their names were fake. And I don't even know how you do this. Facebook says it doesn't allow fake names. I didn't know that. Don't they just let you put like JT on there if you want to?
Yeah, I get like 4 or 5.
I've seen several fake names on Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
Requests a day. They all look like people that are trying to, run to ISIS or something. It doesn't. They're all fake accounts for sure. Yeah.
Facebook asks users with possibly phony names to send copies of government IDs and prove that their names are legitimate. That's what it says. So, I don't know. Tony, thanks for being a part of the Jay Thomas Show. You're a pretty strong man to have put up with me. Let's go to another Tony in Baltimore. Tony, it's Jay Thomas. We have less than... you know what? Can we have Tony of Baltimore? And I definitely want to talk to Frank of Indianapolis. Okay? Can you guys just hold on for a few minutes here? I want to talk to you. All right, Tony?
Yeah.
Can you do that? Yeah. All right. Tony will hold on. Frank of Indianapolis, can you hold on, Frank? Frank?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever kissed a man, Frank?
No.
All right. You're perfect. You're perfect. Stay where you are. The Jay Thomas Show. Real people. Real time. Real cream. What? Can't think of a phrase.
Jazz. It's America's music. And April is Jazz Appreciation Month. SiriusXM celebrates with live performances from Kyle Eastwood, Wynton Marsalis, and more.
Ain't nobody's business.
We'll celebrate the Billie Holiday Centennial with a day for Billie and a birthday tribute to Mr. Ellington with a day for Duke.
Here we go.
Honoring Jazz Appreciation Month throughout April on Real Jazz, Channel 67, and on the SiriusXM app.
That wasn't too bad, was it? We told you it would be quick. Now, do your part and give us a call. 866-99-INDY. Now, here's Jay Thomas.
Let's go back to Tony, who is in Baltimore. Hey, Tony, it's Jay Thomas. Go ahead. Oh, Tony? Hey,
hello,
Tony?
Yeah.
It's Jay Thomas. Go ahead. Thanks for holding on. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, no problem, Jay. Hey, now, Jim Neighbors, I don't want to start rumors. Wasn't he a gay man?
He was gay, yeah. Over the mountain. every time he sang, when he was Gomer, I love that show. I love the Andy Griffith Show, and I love Gomer. His mouth was so ugly, and, people, he packed stadiums, over every mountain. It was just weird to me.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is he's Indianapolis is Indiana's favorite son. He sings at the Indianapolis 500, and then God forbid he was sick and couldn't do it. He thought it was the end of the world, and then.
But he's dead. Jim Neighbors is dead.
Yeah, well, I guess So that doesn't matter to Indiana that their claim to fame was a gay man, so now they're you can discriminate against anybody.
Really weird. And if you read the Constitution that these guys say they all memorized, and by the way, Ted Cruz, when he was a little boy, and I think he was brainwashed at about 14 or 15, when you were in school, do you have any kids 14 or 15 that went to constitutional classes after school?
No.
No. I mean, maybe that's kind of cool for a minute, but it's just weird. It's just
it is weird.
And oddballs are becoming elected officials now because they don't have any, skeletons in their closet. But I believe the Constitution and Thomas Jefferson and Washington and Franklin and all of them, Hamilton, all of them, they hated what happened in England and in other countries with religion. They hated it.
Right.
They hated how the Pope, the Church, the Protestants, all of it was just a mess. And so there is a huge separation of church and government. And for some reason, you're not supposed to. That's not in the Constitution. You can't do that. You can't just say I don't believe in gayness. You can't eat here. It's against the law.
Strange. Yeah, it really is. It's discrimination. If you turned around and said that you don't have to if a black and white couple want to get married, and you can go, no, I'm not going to cater that wedding, or I'm not going to make the.
Oh, wait a minute. There's all kinds of crazy shit in the Bible that if you really want to look at it, there's all kinds of crazy shit in the Bible about blacks and about laying down with another man and another woman and all. You can believe all that if you want to. It's fine with me. Go ahead. But you can't affect. I'm sitting in a restaurant and a mixed race couple or a gay couple comes in. It would disturb me as an American if I was in that restaurant and they were thrown out. I would go, what the fuck's what are you doing?
Right, I agree. And also, you're being licensed by the state or by the city.
Yeah, all of it.
Wherever, and you're supposed to serve the population. You're not supposed to be able to pick and choose who you want to serve and who you don't want to serve. It might be
this fucking governor, this guy Pence. Let's go to Frank of Indianapolis. Give me a break, Frank, in Indianapolis. That's got to be kind of weird to pick up the paper and see that. Is it odd for you, Frank of Indianapolis?
I don't pick up the paper.
Oh, you don't pick up the paper?
No, I don't read the paper.
How about the internet? How about the television? Where did you hear about it?
Well, on radio shows.
On what
show?
show?
The cat is on the back.
Radio shows.
Checked it out.
Radio shows. So Frank, you go into a restaurant and the gay people are being escorted out because of religious reasons. Frank.
Yes,
Frank. Yeah. You're from Indianapolis. How do you? I'm so bad at this. How do you feel about it, Frank?
Well, if it didn't happen in front of me, I wouldn't know any difference.
You wouldn't care.
But what I think needs to happen is homosexuality should become a religion, and they believe they should be married. So if you violate their right to their religion, then that solves the problem. Then you can't violate their right to
Tony
be
of
married.
Baltimore. That's nice, isn't it? Frank, you know what? Let's there we go to Frank of Indianapolis. Would you join me, please, Christina and Steve? Yeah. All right. Make homosexuality a religion. So, would you just suck each other 6 days a week and then take rest on Sunday? How would you work the sucking and the oral copulation? How would you?
536-067.
What is that? Don't give me any phone numbers out here. I didn't say we're offering blowjobs. I said I'm asking questions about them. Yeah, don't be giving any phone numbers out. Guys giving a phone number out. You know, save that for, a truck stop in the bathroom, Frank of Indianapolis, if it was a religion, how do we handle the sex and everything else? What sort of rules would there be?
Well, as far as the government, they should mind their own business. They should actually protect people's rights instead of trying to dictate their rights.
Wow. Now, Tony, would you consider yourself a liberal or a conservative person, Tony?
Liberal. Yeah,
a liberal person. Frank, would you consider yourself a liberal or a conservative person?
I don't consider myself anything. I take each issue as it is, and I look at each issue.
Right. All right. Well, Tony of Baltimore and Frank of Indianapolis, who wants to make it a religion. Great idea, Frank. Thank you very much. You can call a lot of talk shows today. You're going to get a lot of heat out of that one.
All right.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank
you.
Frank for president.
Thank you. There you go. And Tony, there'd be a lot of kneeling down in that religion.
Yeah, that'd be one hell of a church.
There sure would be. Oh, it'd be gorgeous. Unbelievable. Be drapes everywhere. All right.
It brings a whole new meaning to church. See you, Jay.
Sure. Then you know what the battle would be between, lesbians and gay men. You know what I mean? Could a man join a lesbian's church? Oh, yeah, there'd be a battle. You see, I say that about the Middle East. They're all gearing up now, and now they're fighting each other. We have them exactly where we want them. We pull out every troop and they know who's who. They know who's who over there. So let them kill each other and figure it all out. And so now, once you had homosexuality as a religion, you'd have the transsexual church, you'd have the lesbian church, you'd have the gay men's church, and let's see if they would all want to mix up. Imagine a bunch of gay men are being told what to do by a minority of lesbian women that were members of their church. Oh, my goodness. It could be real bad, which is good at some point. You know what I'm saying? Shows you the problem. Yeah. See that? I wish I was a columnist. Let's make homosexuality a religion. I would steal that in a minute. What's he going to do with it? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Hey, we have any voice boxes at 347-6-Sirius, or just that same one guy that calls up the Moonshine Man? Is that the only person we have? What a failure that thing turned out to be. What?
No, there's a bunch in here.
Oh, great. All right. So let's do 347-6-Sirius, our voice box, open 24 hours a day. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay, this is Frank from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching CNN, and I was thinking about, talking about that scumbag that bombed Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of publicizing his name, which I can't pronounce, they should just say, put the scumbag in the shit can. The other thing is, I really miss the old introduction to your show, the song, the Jay Thomas song. God, I love that. And that new guy is just way too abrasive. It's like bam in your face. Which, I don't want to program your show.
That's used to.
Thanks for the show,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Jim Neighbors, by the way,
I love how he thinks
not
I'm more
dead.
abrasive than you are, clearly.
Stop it first. Jim Neighbors is very upset. He called us a few minutes ago, and we knew it was him because he went, I'm not dead. Oh, my face looks like I'm in pain. Over the rainbow. So he's still alive. How old is he, Christina? How old is Jim Neighbors?
84?
You know what? We might have to have him on the show because he sings or sang at the thing. Let's invite him. Let's try and get him on.
Okay.
What a get that would be. And you know what? If we can't get him, get Engelbert Humperdinck. I made myself laugh at my own stupid shit. Okay. We're listening now to an exclusive on the Jay Thomas Show, The Voice Box. Go ahead.
Jay.
Yeah.
Here he is.
That was it.
And there he goes.
That was it? He was so drunk.
Yeah. It said more, but I guess he didn't get it.
There's got to be more of him somewhere.
All right, let's hear more.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
I've been drinking some Senators Club whiskey. It's about $15 a half a gallon. If it's good enough for our senators, it's good enough for me. But why are you ragging on fat old stewardesses. Come on, man. Everybody needs a job. Can't everybody look like Al Sharpton?
There you go. Old Senators Club. I have seen the cheapest liquor. I've been in every liquor store. I've been in every 7-Eleven. I've been in drugstores that sell booze. I have never heard of Old Senators whiskey. I don't even know what it. I don't even know what it was. That just sounds awful. You know. I mean, it just sounds just.
I mean,
like
it's $15.
Yeah, for a half gallon. So, more, please. Voice box.
2 minutes left.
Hi, Jay, Christina. It's Doug from Windsor. It's about 10:55. You were talking about Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan this morning?
Yeah.
Or this afternoon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've seen that sex tape back probably 15 years ago, and her pussy looks like it got hit with an axe. Jay, you gotta check it out.
Stop it. Stop it. Oh, God. Holy shit. You gotta check it out, you know. Oh, my God. Please do not stop calling under any circumstances. 347-6-SIRIUS. It's just for you. It's like going into one of those little peep shows by yourself in Times Square, and it's just you and that woman in there dancing, and you can have any fantasy and do whatever you want to do in that thing. That's what Voice Box is about. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm not going to ask you any questions, talk over you or anything. It's a chance for you to relax through whatever you want to say. Okay? Give me one more. One more.
Hey, why does your voice box mail ring 4 times? I mean, you know I'm going to leave a message, right? Can't you just have it hang up after once and we can get to the message part? I mean, my God, you should see the sunset right now. It's snapping off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my God, I'm right down here at Bird Shit Rock. Anyway, have a good day. Hey, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
There you go.
Is he taking mushrooms?
No, he's at Bird Shit.
I know, it sounded exactly like Double Rainbow Guy.
He was at Bird Shit Rock. That's my favorite. It's over there in Morro Bay. All right, those are our voice boxes for today. Thank you very much. Now, this guy, somebody, the mobile hink here, said at jthomasshow@gmail. Imagine the look of surprise on those two assholes that tried to run into the NSA office today when they get to heaven and find 99 virgin men waiting for them. I don't know why they were wearing women's clothing. I don't know. They, it wasn't burqas or anything. So do we know? I guess they're not releasing who they are. It's so weird. I think they ought to take a picture of them laying dead on the ground and put them up there right away. You know, they're bad guys. They weren't doing anything good. So, Utah has reinstated the firing squad, and the Pope is very, very upset. Thinks it's a bad thing. And it's because they keep botching the dosages during the death penalty, and the prisoners feel pain as they die and have agonal respirations, which appear to many people that the prisoner is expressing and experiencing distress. Yeah, we're killing him. Yeah, he's distressed, and we're killing him. And he killed other people, hopefully. Hopefully you've sentenced the right person to death. Now, science can't prove that once the person is knocked out, they're feeling any pain. But there are a lot of people out there that say they are. Look, I know that, like in Norway, they only put you away for 21 years, no matter what you do. And unless they figure out that you're crazy or whatever. You know, if you watch that Shawshank Redemption, it makes you wonder about the death penalty. because that guy, the Morgan Freeman character had murdered somebody when he was young, but now that he's like in his 50s or whatever, he's a good person. So that's the only problem with it. But a lot of these people that you see on Locked Up and all of that, or on death row or whatever, they're not ever going to be all right. They're not going to be okay. And living in solitary is horrible. I think if I was up, I'd rather take the death penalty than to be locked away. I mean, what's there to live for? Crappy, prison food and go into that library? That's all they do. And then there's a knife fight, or you might get raped or whatever, or you're in solitary confinement. I'd rather, And, boy, you ought to see what they put him in a chair. And they tie him to the chair there in Utah, and then there's a bunch of sandbags around him. So that they only give, let's say they have 4 people, they only give 2 people bullets out of the 4. Did you know that, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know who killed who.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I would do? I would aim at the forehead. Then I would know if my shot went or not. You're supposed to aim. They actually put a heart on you, right on your chest.
Oh, really?
And you're supposed to all aim at the heart, and so that way nobody knows if it's their shot or somebody else's. So we won't know it. So it's now against the law to leave any bodily fluids in colleagues' food in Minnesota. A guy apparently was cleared of sex charges after he admitted that he ejaculated into a co-worker's coffee. Look it up on Huffington Post. I'm sure they'll have something on there. And then when the judge looked for a law, he found that here is John Robert Lind may have had creepy behavior, but it didn't qualify as criminal sex conduct, even though the victim drank his semen-tainted coffee. Minnesota law doesn't cover indirect bodily fluid contact. Man, he's free. That guy is free. His non-dairy creamer doesn't qualify as a criminal sex act because he didn't ejaculate directly onto his victim. That's unreal. It defines sexual contact as the intentional touching with your seminal fluid or your sperm by the actor of the complainant's body or the clothing covering the complainant's body. There is nothing in there about coffee, tea, anything. Man, that is crazy.
You want to hear the news report?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Pat Moss has worked at Byswinger's hardware store in New Brighton for 26 years. She's the shipping and receiving manager and spends most of her time at this back desk. Her coffee keeps her moving.
Generally, I make a cup and take it in a travel cup on my way to work. I finish that cup up about 10:30, maybe have one more cup during the day.
Last August, she found fluid on her desk after catching a coworker of 14 years standing near the edge of it.
He looked over his shoulder, had the deer in the headlights look, and promptly left the room. And when he left the room, I looked down at the desk, and here was a puddle on the desk.
She had found fluid before. This time, everything clicked. And then she picked up her coffee cup.
And I went, oh my goodness.
She knows that taste.
Because that's when I put it all together. But that's what I was actually tasting in my coffee from previous occasions.
Ma says she realized what she thought was spoiled coffee over the past 6 months was something far more outrageous.
It is a sexual assault. I was sexually assaulted.
The coworker faced 2 charges of criminal sexual conduct, but the judge dismissed them because no current sex law covered this type of incident.
My worst thought was I have to go through STD testing for a year, and he's going to get off.
At the judge's
he's going to get off. He already did,
sweetheart.
I just don't think that anybody ever anticipated that someone would do this.
Representative Deborah Hillstrom took on the challenge of changing the law and changing the language defining criminal sexual conduct in the 5th degree.
This just says if you, put your bodily fluids in someone else's food, that counts for criminal sexual conduct as well.
Yeah.
Moz says she now struggles with trust.
We worked together that whole 14 years, and he was a trusted fellow employee. So what does that say?
It makes her more determined than ever to make sure anyone who acts this way in the future is not just charged, but is able to be prosecuted.
So this isn't just protecting me because someone was attracted to me. It's protecting everyone in society in general.
What's she look like?
Not that
She
you
looked
want
like
splooge on her face.
Really?
No.
I feel like we've probably all eaten a little bit of splooge if we,
Well, they're the foods that
We dine
even though
out.
they're gonna pass a law. These are the foods that in Minnesota you can ejaculate in or on and not get in trouble. You can ejaculate on a banana and you're fine. You can ejaculate on any kale salad and you're fine. You can ejaculate on any bouillabaisse. Yeah. On any Supreme pizza. They will allow ejaculation on a Chipotle burrito bowl.
Are these just things that you like to eat, or don't like to eat, so you're just making sure?
I'm looking at this.
Oh,
looking
okay.
at
I thought you had selected your own list of things.
Well, I
that
have
you're
selected my own list, but these are things that in Minnesota, if you don't want to get caught,
Okay.
potato salad. You jerk off in
Blends right in.
quinoa. It's okay to jerk off in quinoa. Anybody that eats that's an idiot. Okay? You can jerk off in gumbo. It'll add to the flavor. Okay? You can jerk off into borscht. People will think it's that sour cream they put in the top of it. You know the favorite thing of people in Minnesota to jerk off in the wintertime? Cream of mushroom soup.
I think cream of any soup, probably, right?
You know
I'm not
what?
calling it cream enough.
I've wondered if my Jamba Juice tasted a little funny once at the Minneapolis airport.
Definitely semen. Absolutely, especially if they're working at the airport.
Any yogurt that's been left in the office freezer over an office refrigerator overnight can be jerked off in. Man, I tell you what. When they let him go, that had to be crazy in the courtroom. The judge goes, I can't get up. There's no law. There's no law against it. That's crazy. And the guy, and she thinks the guy was sexually attracted to her. It seems like to me he was angry at her. Let's go to Eric, who's in Indiana. Yes, Eric. Line 3. Yes, Eric. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Hey,
you kicked any queers out of your place of business today?
No, not today. Not today. That whole thing is a fucking disaster, man.
Who voted on all that? We've got all these people from Indiana saying that they're against it. They didn't vote on it. They don't know how it happened.
Oh, they're full of shit. It's all the new Republican legislature that was elected in November. There was a whole bunch of new churchy, goody fucknuts that were elected in, and they all suck on Pence's cock, and then they do whatever he wants them to do. But it's a fucking disaster. I live in Bloomington, which is really a gay-friendly community, and people are fucking pissed. But,
Bloomington is where the university is, right?
Yes, sir. The home of Indiana University.
And the greatest movie in the world about the basketball, the bicycle racers. That was the greatest years and years ago.
Oh, the Little Five?
No. It's an old
Breaking
old
Away
movie.
or Hoosiers?
Yes, Breaking Away. Hoosiers is great, too. Breaking Away. Unbelievable movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that was filmed actually down at the Stone Quarries about an hour away from my house, actually.
That's one of the first real independent movies to bust through. Yeah. So go ahead. What did you have the firing squad in Indiana also?
Yeah. No, we don't have it here, but I just wanted to let you know that, if you think that the people who are shooting the fucking blanks don't realize that they're the ones that shot the blank round, and then the two guys that shot the real bullet know that because you can totally tell when you're shooting a weapon that, that it's a blank round. I mean, the rifle.
No, wait a minute. Can't you load it up? Can't you load the blank round up so that the
explosion? You can, but when there's
Yeah,
Feels
but
like
when
the
there's
bullet?
no bullet in the front of it and it's just powder shooting out with like a little wad of fucking paper or whatever the fuck they put in there, which will kill you. I mean, that's that like Bruce Lee Jr. or Bruce Lee's kid. That's how he died on set, was from a wad from a blank. But it feels completely different, man.
Oh,
I mean, it really does.
they'll know.
So, you know, hey.
Well, in Minneapolis, some cum shoots out of the front of the gun. A big wad of cum goes right at the little heart.
A big
that
wad
little heart thing.
right on into the coffee heart there, you know?
If I had killed somebody and I was in Utah, I would ask them to put me to death on Valentine's Day. I have the
Maybe
heart in my
everybody
chest.
sign it
Yeah,
and
look at
shit.
this. That's it. Thank you very much, Eric of Indiana. Thank
right
you.
on, sir. Have a good one, buddy.
All right. John of Kentucky. Yes, John, go ahead.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Well, I've never been so excited in my life to find out that Jim Neighbors is still alive.
Oh, shit, is it really?
Yeah,
That means more great music.
it does. He's still alive.
Hey.
Yeah. What is it?
I was really touched by that 9-year-old girl that called in, the one that you gave the picture to. That's exciting.
That was that was, what was that, on Friday, I guess?
Thursday.
Was it on Thursday?
Thursday.
I'd written her a little 8x10 glossy when she was 9, and now big grown lady now, and I'm sending her another one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The last time I sent a picture to a 9-year-old, I did 10 years.
Well, yeah, that was against the law back then, but not. Yeah, I don't send that. I don't do that anymore. Yes. What is
I don't know what that woman in Minneapolis is fucking getting all crazy about. Ain't nothing wrong with the taste of cum. Matter of fact, we were so poor growing up, we used to have to suck each other off just so we'd have something warm in our stomachs when we went to bed.
Okay, thank you so much, John of Kentucky. To that. God. Oh, God. Oh. You know, I could have gotten in trouble. You know what I sent her when she was 9? I sent her my autopsy picture from Killing Mr. Griffin when I was laid out naked on the slab. I could get in real trouble for that. It was a picture of, a recent film. Jacob, Los Angeles. Yeah. When's the last time you saw Jim Neighbors in concert? Is he performing? We need to find him. Find out what's going on.
I've never seen the man in concert, but a couple of years ago he was on doing a telephone interview on the Stern Show, and he talked about reasons why he lives over there in Hawaii, and when they legalized gay marriage, and he married his husband over there.
And is he still? Do they use his voice at the Indianapolis 500, or is it on tape or something these days?
That I have no idea. I'm not a NASCAR fan by any means.
Okay. Yeah.
But also, he talked about how. Oh my goodness. Talked about just being there in Hawaii and being happy, and I don't think he had any intention of ever returning home.
No.
Stuff like that. And then one other thing I remember as a kid, and I never believed this until later on when I found out that my uncle was gay. He talked about, and I was little when I heard him talk about how supposedly Rock Hudson and Jim Neighbors had gotten married back in the 70s, and they said that it wasn't true. And they talked about that. I believe they talked about that on the Stern Show. And, of course, it made total sense when I realized that my uncle was gay, that he would know about that invite as well.
Because all the gays, they had a special secrets that they knew that they kept from the straight people.
Well, my uncle thinks that nobody in the family knows that he's gay, but he's totally wrong.
What does he tell people about his boyfriend? That's his roommate?
No, he just has a lot of friends. And, he never left home. Always had his mother cooking and cleaning for him. And always had an excuse for why he never had a solid relationship with women. And
you know what? Christina, you might be gay. You live at home, your mom cooks and cleans, and you've never had a solid relationship. That's his definition.
The nail in the coffin with my uncle was that when he was moving, he left behind, when they moved from California to live out of state.
Here we go. Yeah.
They found, he left behind a couple of blank VHS cassettes, and they ended up being gay porn. So that's...
Ooh. Well, straight people watch gay porn.
Yeah, but straight people would have a woman maybe come by every now and again and fuck with, right? You know, to be fucking in their room instead of having my friends come over all the time.
You know, if ever you get a chance and your uncle's, on his deathbed, you ought to go there to visit when you're all alone. Just lean down and go, "We all know you're gay." Like that. Let that be the last thing he hears before he goes off into heaven where he'll be discriminated against. Yeah.
One of the last times I visited family that was out of state was several years ago for Thanksgiving. And he was throwing a conniption because I wanted to have one of my younger nephews sit at the table with the adults. And he threw a fit about it. And, he's the man of the house, but it's my grandmother's home. And so I got into an argument with him. And he just wouldn't let off. And so finally I just looked him in the eye and just told him that a man like you doesn't tell me what to do. And
oh, boy. Wow, that should have told him right there. You know what's going to be sad? No matter how wonderful you are on earth, you've, helped people, given money away. You've starred in Elton John. Apparently, according to the evangelicals, when you die and you get up to the pearly gates, that's it for you. You're not getting in there. And then way off to the right, there's an elevator you take down, and apparently the Beelzebub, the devil, waiting for you down there going, "Hi, how are you?" Like that. Oh, yeah, waiting for you. Unbelievable. Yeah, sad. Thank you, Jake of Los Angeles. Thank you very much. Jake needed really to talk that thing out with his about his uncle, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what we're here for.
You can feel it sometimes, can't you? They just need, they need to talk. In Nebraska, where they're planning on passing some anti-gay legislation, Representative Jeff Fontenberry was in his Lincoln, Nebraska office, and he opened up a letter, and an explosion of glitter, sparkles, and confetti went all over him. It says, "Congratulations. You've earned this for denying women and gays their rights." Then at the bottom, it said, "Mind your own uterus." Yeah. Now, he stated, you can disagree with me if you want to, but damn it, I can't get these sparkles out of my hair or my clothes. He's all upset. I hate those things when you get them and it's for a positive. He says, "Cleaning my office, cleaning all of our clothing, plus the fear that we've had over the exploding card was a waste of everybody's time and resources." He has reported the incident to the local postal authorities. Oh, yeah, they're going to jump right on it. Oh, yeah. Why don't you take that all the way down? Go downtown to the big post office. No one was injured, thank God, except now people have the problem of glitter on their clothes. Man. Did we talk about the Tinder hacker who made hundreds of dude bros unwittingly flirt with each other?
So funny.
I don't think they use them only for mentally or physically disabled people. Well, then I just realized that that's just teeny boppers, and that's just how they dress today. Sorry if that's a little out of there, just saying. No, that's cool. Here's to praying I don't have daughters one day. Super scared, me too. I'd be a crazy, overprotective father. Huh? I'd be a crazy, overprotective dad if I had girls. What do you mean? I think maybe you're confusing me with someone else. No. Look at my profile. Those are all the pictures of me. I don't understand. What is a man? I'm a man. You mean a woman? The pictures, those pictures you posted, they aren't your pictures? No, they're all of me. I'm a male. I'm a man. I have a penis, not a vagina. Whoa, bro, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on right now. Maybe this is a language thing. Wow. Those lips are so gorgeous, they make me wonder what the other set looks like. What?
Oh, my God.
This
is why I'm so happy I never had to go on Tinder.
The other set.
The other set of lips. Good grief.
What are you talking about? My ass? Oh, I love it. You're a wild chick, aren't you? No, man. I'm a wild guy with a dick. Unbelievable. That's the best hacking ever. That's the best ever. One guy said one hacker said he oversaw 40 conversations in the first 12 hours. And he scrambled phone numbers, and he went into real world. They were having meetings online and everything, and he got into all of them. That is absolutely fantastic. That is crazy. Wow. And one guy got another guy into some conversation about cum and semen and, oh, yeah. And they were both talking to each other, thinking it was the woman that was asking him those questions. Let's go to Bob in Pennsylvania. Hello, Bob. It's Jay Thomas. Yes.
Hey, Jay, do you think the glitter bomb might be a direct relation to your show? You just had a guy on promoting that.
The glitter bomb guy?
Yeah, we had them on.
We did?
Yeah.
Did they do it in Nebraska? Did it in Nebraska?
He mailed it everywhere. Remember?
Yeah, they go everywhere.
It could be something.
Oh, right. Oh, the service. That's right. Oh, yeah, you're right about that.
Send your enemies glitter. Remember?
Yeah, but we also had didn't we send them shit also? Did we have a guy that sends crap around to people? Yeah, we've had them all on. But you know what? People, I hate that. I hate to open. Sometimes I'll shake like a card and make sure that shit's not in there. I don't know why they think that's cool. It really should just be a terrorist thing, glitter terror.
Better than anthrax, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, what is that? Isn't that natural in the world? Anthrax? Isn't that in the earth?
Yeah, it grows in cow shit in fields like mushrooms.
Oh, it does. Yeah. And then if you touch it, you get sick and you die.
Yeah. It's like, and then they refine it down to like they weaponize it, I guess, and send it to politicians too occasionally.
What they really ought to do is release that into the bad population and let them snort it as coke. Really? They want to get rid of crack. They want to get rid of... really, they want to get... The war on drugs is not only lost, but it's billions of dollars down the drain. Just introduce poison into the thing. None of us are supposed to be doing it. It's against the law. I light my crack pipe and I die. So what? You needed to get rid of this shit. That's the only way... I've never thought about that before. The government should release anthrax into the drug supply. What do you think of that?
That's novel, I guess. Novel.
Well, it's novel, all right. It's novel. Hey, give us a call at 866-99-INDY. What do you think, Steve?
Great. Real novel.
Imagine tuning in to Hannity. Do you think we're going to have anthrax into the coke supply? It's not going to kill any good people. All right, Bob, thank you very much. Thank you. We had the cuddling people on, didn't we?
Yes.
We had the woman from way out. Yeah. There's now in New Jersey, there's Snuggle Buddies. It's non-sexual. It is hourly, and there are overnight rates. I'm sorry. I think that's, on some level, that's got to be bullshit. Most of the clients are white, in their 40s or 50s. A majority have been single for some time. Many others are divorcees, and they just cuddle. There's no fondling, there's no kissing, and there's no sexual behavior. Do we have a report on this, an audio report on this?
We do.
I want you to listen to one of the women who is a cuddler. Listen to her carefully.
Hi, my name is Becky, and I'm a professional cuddler.
Yeah.
In a way, I think some people can't believe that this is a business. It's hard to believe. And when you're paying for a professional cuddler, you're kind of paying for somebody to just listen to you completely. And otherwise, people kind of fight over who gets to talk and who gets to listen. And in this sense, I am here for the person.
The music.
There's a wide range of people. There's people that are older. I've also had more younger people than I expected. There are people that are single and lonely, and there are also people that are not getting the affection that they want out of relationships.
Weird.
I've had a customer that had post-traumatic stress. I actually had a 30-year-old virgin before that he wanted to wait until he was married, but he still wanted some affection and he wanted to talk about his frustrations too. I've had a person from a religious background that was not supposed to touch someone until he was married. Things like that.
$80 an hour.
She sounds like
everyone
she's got...
wears a top and a bottom, and I don't kiss anyone. I have no problem with touching. We can hold hands. We can cuddle in all different positions. We can touch each other's hair, face, things like that. It's fine. But we don't touch private parts. We don't grind or anything like that. It makes me feel great when people have said they enjoyed it and they got something out of it, because I usually get something out of it too. It makes me feel like I have something useful that I can do for people just by being me, which is kind of amazing. And I felt very self-actualized doing this.
Really? Overnight stays are available.
How to be a good cuddler, you should be comfortable with the human body. You should be able to read nonverbal cues. I think a combination of initiating and letting the other person initiate is good. You should be able to communicate boundaries, and you should be enthusiastic about it. Put your heart into it.
She sounds like she has really strong hands.
Yeah, she looks like it.
Now, I was reading this. I don't know if that's the woman or not, but one of the women that was quoted, she had been homeschooled, right, from a very loving family, and she was a former stripper, and she was in on it. Okay? Then another one said, I was supposed to be a doctor, but because of some sort of pain or something, she has reflex sympathetic dystrophy, a nervous disorder characterized that burning pain and tenderness and swelling of the extremities. And so that person started snuggle buddies because they couldn't have rough sex or something, and she could just be gently cuddled. Man, I generally have been a loner and kind of a geek type person throughout my entire life. I have no one to turn to, so I have to pay people to cuddle me. Jesus. You know what? They better never go to Indiana. They would never let that go. And you have the CU DDLR app now, Cuddler app. Wow. When's the last time you cuddled, Christina? You and the boyfriend cuddle?
Yes, we cuddle.
You do cuddle?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And Steve, do you cuddle? Big cuddler?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. My wife and I like to touch each other for about 8 seconds, and then, but we're both the same. It's very important. I don't like to be intertwined when I'm sleeping. I don't like any of that. That leg over your leg.
Yeah, then it gets a little hot, you know? It's fine at first, but, you know, no, not hot like that, Steve. I'm talking about sweaty, not good.
Yeah.
One leg has to be kicked out from under the covers.
In the movies, they always wake up, you know, hugging after sex. No. I like to cuddle, come, and pass out. Wow, what an app that would be. CUDDLRCUM, Cuddle Come. Hi, JF Cuddle Come. How are you? Cuddle Come Industries. CEO Jay Thomas. How are you? The ex-girlfriend of the German airliner said that he frightened her, the pilot, ex-girlfriend of the pilot. He frightened her. He was totally nuts, she said. He had mental health issues. He was always going to a psychiatrist. The airline says they... Now, listen, in the United States, it is against the law for your mental or physical health files to be released. It's against the law unless you sign something. I don't know what the law is in Germany, but she described Lubitz as a tormented person who knew how to keep his secrets, and this is what he used to say. He said that one day I will do something that will change the whole system, and then everyone will know my name and remember it. I never knew what he meant by that, but now it all makes sense, said whatever her name is, Brunhilde, his former girlfriend. At night, he would wake up and scream. This is a dramatization of her report. Oh, God, he would scream, we're going down. Oh, no. Somebody needed to turn this guy in. How about the captain beating on the door saying, open the damn door? Oh, my God. Jesus. And now they don't know how to open the door from the inside. It's locked. Now, look, the odds of that happening again, very low. Millions to one. But they have to change everything, and no one will forget this asshole's name. Isn't that unbelievable? I mean, to be honest, I'm having more trouble remembering, Trevor Noah. Is that his name? The new guy from...
Correct.
You got it.
Who's the host of the Late Late Show now?
Will you ever forget Lubitz?
Blew right by that one.
You won't. The pilot, Lubitz. I don't know his first name, but you'll never, ever forget Lubitz. So, and should the girlfriend have called someone? She knew that he was taking psychotropic drugs. I don't think you're supposed to fly and take psychotropic drugs. I don't. The overweight, over-the-hill stewardesses that can't help you if there's a crash, and then nutcases at the controls, it's a bad deal. You've got to be young, able, and mentally stable. They need to hire nothing but Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. People that have already taken an oath that they're going to be morally strong and whatever. By the way, at a community college in Santa Barbara, California, some art students built a gorgeous teepee. Really beautiful. And put it up as an art exhibit. Yeah, beautiful. Gorgeous, made of wood. You could sleep in it and everything else. The Native Americans stormed the campus, and Chief Ken Hotate, this guy, actor Jonathan Joss, who plays Chief Ken Hotate on Parks and Recreation. You know him?
Yeah, I know the show, yeah.
He weighed in. John Redcorn, a native, he's on King of the Hill, and a descendant of Comanches and Apaches. They got to take that thing down. They made him take the teepee down. They made him dismantle it. And they said that it was an insult. Also, they're trying to get people to stop walking on, like bird shit mountain somewhere, because the guy, they say that there's all sorts of, spirits and stuff there. That's pretty, I'm sorry, but that just sets them back. Come on. The kids did it as an art project. There's nothing more beautiful than a teepee. I'd love to have a teepee. Doesn't Bill Walton live in a teepee, the famous basketball player, now announcer?
He has one, yeah.
He lives in a teepee.
Well, he owns a home
He's
as well.
not native. He has a home and a teepee. They must consider that an insult also. Does he take people for tours in it? Does he show them around the teepee?
He has. I believe there's footage of it. He's definitely brought some of his colleagues. Yeah.
Do we have time to run Bill Walton and his teepee? They're not making him tear it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me hear the Bill Walton thing. Come on. You know what, Christina? That would be like
That's the team.
Yeah, here we go.
Team that wears the blue.
Cortez, where you going?
He's in the teepee right now.
Come on, he's trying to teach us something here, Cortez.
Oh, my gosh.
That's when I was mugged and drugged by Walton to get that tie-dye shirt on.
Cortez has a very short attention span, and he doesn't really respond to verbal commands.
Bill wants to go, or Jay wants to go on the teepee, Bill.
This is an excellent shirt, by the way. I've got one of those.
If this is your shirt.
That's my shirt.
It is.
That was like the time that, after the Celtic championship in '86. I woke up the next day, I had Rick Carlisle's shirt on.
All right, that's enough. I think that's more insulting to Native Americans, don't you, Steve? The Bill Walton TP with the tie-dyed shirts.
Maybe he got permission and they helped him build it, though.
I don't know. Okay, we'll do it again tomorrow, I promise. And tomorrow, my recipe for marijuana brownies. That's right. Something to look forward to.
Share.
I've never been so scared testing those things out.
Catholic Channel. It's one of the most exciting times of the church year. Join us for Holy Week in the Holy Land. We'll take you along as we walk where Jesus walked, the Sea of Galilee, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, and many more. It's going to be amazing. You'll hear masses from New York, Washington, D.C., and the Vatican, celebrated by Pope Francis. It's a very special event you don't
Love and War.
I've never been to a therapist before. Never had the need. Just Dana and I said, hey, therapy, that sounds like fun.
Murphy Brown, Mr. Holland's Opus, and Ray Donovan. You know his voice from Mysteries at the Museum, Hercules, Goof Troop, the Santa Claus movies 2 and 3, and that Twizzlers commercial from the 80s.
It makes me happy.
You've seen him on CNN, Fox News, and The Soup.
If they do strike Seth Rogen and James Franco, what a great end to their careers.
You know him as a mama's boy.
Oh, my God.
Tiger Thomas, middle-aged MC.
I'm middle-aged MC.
Get down and lick my white belt, bitch.
Viper Tongue, and the man who throws the football at the meatball.
The guy that knocks the meatball off the Christmas tree.
And most importantly, the main host of this radio show. So, without further ado, a man who needs absolutely no introduction, Jay Thomas.
It's amazing how calm I sound on those, whatever those things are. Yeah. The man that knocks the meatball off the Christmas tree. I sound like I was like, I don't know, like coming out of anesthesia. Do we have a lot of Jay coming out of anesthesia? Audio? I don't know where they got that from.
We've got some
you sent that,
Jay on Ativan audio.
Oh, you do have some of that? Where is it? Where do you save that?
It's in storage for rainy
What did
days.
I mean, to be honest, I remember talking about it. But what I had some minor surgery or something, and they gave me Ativan. Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was quite possibly one of my favorite days working.
And it was that different. Does it ever get to rerun when I'll take a vacation day and you can you know?
Yeah.
You know, I know the guy that's the host of this game show that you sent me, Moment of Truth.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when the show went on the air, they were saying, well, how are you going to get people to tell the truth on a show like this? It was just like a discussion online, and I even think the network had a discussion, and the guy's name is Mark Wahlberg, who was the host. And his son, I believe, is that guy David online. He's a college guy, maybe from L.A. or whatever. And then another friend of mine's son, Kyle Herbert. They make tons of money on the internet, you know, with kind of comedy stuff, you know, that's, you know, fraternity, college stuff. And so Mark Wahlberg is also on Antique Roadshow, right? And
Remain. 10 kills to win.
minutes left.
Hostiles are charging!